Alright, this is it, boys. This is it. The Maiden of Physalis is here. Get rid of this. Get that Musketeer. Oh, wait, okay. Let's try to unflip. This is gonna be tough. Oh, I won't be able to unflip. Alright, just do this. Well, I might be able to. Oh, I don't even need to unflip. What am I talking about? Okay. Made enough Physalis, let's go. Let's get him. Yes! Let's combo, boys! Unflip! Combo! Combo! Wombo combo! Uh-oh, that ain't Falco! Uh-oh, that ain't Oh! What? Amazing! Oh, man! Neo Nectar is owning! That was one sick combo. Wait, why would he call this down before locking? He should have called this down after he did that. Oh, well, whatever. Oh man, that was hilarious. This dude is gonna get owned.
Vanguardにアタック。セカンドチェック。ダメージチェック。スキル発動。スタンド&ドロー。
All right. Let's see if we can get some grave ones. Get this over here. Yes! I don't need to do that. Because that's exactly what I needed. Get that crit. We're closing in on him. Neo Nectar on the offense. Okay, 2, 4, 5 cards left. He did not redo. He didn't do that guy's skill. Alright, throwing away your triggers. So he's out 5. 6 triggers gone. So he's like a little over half out. I'm out 5, 6. So equal. Ouch. Alright. You know what? Oh my god. Get that crit! Okay.
Stand and draw. Skill発動。ロック。
He literally just gave up! Neo Nectar owning! Oh my gosh! Wow! Complete domination! Oh my gosh! This deck is so good! That what is that guy's name? I gotta check that grade 2. That 7K grade 2? Man, that's some wicked sick combo. I start the stream and like mid-game and bam, all that combo, like in the first 30 seconds was the most insane play. What? Wow. Neo, Nectar, Musketeers. This deck is so fun. This guy right here this is MVP. This and Cecilia is the heart and soul of this deck. Elvira is just kind of in there to come in. Top deck this guy into Sylvia. Oh my, Sylvia into like a Rebecca or something. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, what I realized is 9 draw is overkill because 9 draw you deck out. You will deck out with this deck if you run 9 draw. Like, I'm not kidding. Like I decked out the other day. Then I thought, okay, I need some crits. So we make Elvira the critical because when she's the Vanguard, you're gonna be checking draws. You're less likely to check criticals because she's the critical, and she can inherently gain criticals, so you don't need her to be a draw. And then if Cecilia's the Vanguard, you need to check criticals to go for that game or to push that PG out or hold them at 3 or whatever. And then we use Maiden of Venus Trap Muse because she's basically Descendant. You plop her down on the field when the opponent's at 5, and you have a good chance of getting like a 4th attack. So you get like 2 attacks to the Vanguard. Hey Kai, oh man, this deck, I completed Neo Nectar yesterday. This is so fun. I'm having a blast with this deck. Oh my gosh, this build is so good. I don't know why people run the Grade 3 Searcher. Grade 3 Searchers, in my opinion, have always been trash. I never use Grade 3 Searchers, not even in my Revenger deck. I'm trying to get Legend 15 so I can refund the gems that I used to, okay, Goki. I like this variety. Yeah, this deck is so good. Oh my gosh, Neo Nectar. Alright, I don't want this guy. Oh, that's, well, this is not a good starting Vanguard either. The good thing about this deck, though, is you don't need to have a Musketeer Vanguard to do Kaivant or Rebecca's effect. Oh, I like this. I love fighting Grand Blue. I love limited clan matchups. Alright, we'll go with Rebecca. Let's try some shenanigans. Oh, it's gonna call it as rest. Let's see. Alright, that's 18. This is gonna call it rest. So guess what, boys? Check this out. Domination move! What? Wow! This is what I mean. This deck is so fun. Maiden of Physalis into Sylvia? Did you see that? Did you see that combo? That guy's like, what? Oh, man. Oh, 1 PG. Only problem is I don't have the right. I got 2 heal triggers in my hand. That's really not good. Let's go into Kaivant. Get rid of Cecilia. Let me get like a Rebecca. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh man. What are these combos? I guess I'll take the Interceptor. Alright, and then here we do this. Now I run crits, but I want to kill that, and then this will be my backup attack. Oh man, I love this deck's offense. Already at 4 damage, and I've barely used any cards from my hand. Goki. I love decks that have like flashy combos like this. He's trying to follow up some combos too. I can see. Okay. I bet he's running, well, see the thing with Grand Blue, because of Thanatos, you really run 9 draw. Crits in here, actually, criticals in Grand Blue is not horrible, but it just goes horribly wrong in certain attack patterns. Alright, cheat when a rearguard with the same name as a unit is placed, it gets 5k. Alright. Oh, I don't have anything that can do any of that stuff. Alright, whatever. We'll just do double intercept. Let's go. Oh, yes! Get out of here. Oh, man! And we saw one of his PGs earlier. So that's 2 PGs that he doesn't have anymore. I don't know. I feel like 9 draws good enough though, because the thing with Grand Blue, you have to worry about deck out though, because of the milling. But you don't mill too much with this current deck. But the draw power from the Banshee makes it seem like you don't really need 9 draw. But I personally still think 9 draw is still probably a better... Oh, what is he doing? He needs to... I personally think Peter the Ghosty is the best starter for the current Grand Blue. I don't really think that Captain Nightkid's really worth running. The deck has enough ways to mill. See, he just lost his 11k. I think he needs to lock. He needed to use Cositis Reverse's skill to lock. He should have locked, like, this thing so it wouldn't have died or something like that. I don't know. Not sure what he was going for. Alright, I got Limit Break now, so I can do my little when this unit attacks. Counterballs 1 limit 5. How many? The thing. Oh, wow. All my heals. Alright. Right skip. Let me see. What do I have in here? Do I have a Rebecca? I have 1 Rebecca and 1 Ruth. That's not very good. Oh well. Here we go. See if we can get that Rebecca or that Ruth. Come on. Ah. Oh yes. Come on. Oh! 6 damage heal. What? Hey, Fresh. Dude, Neo Nectar is where it's at. People need to be playing these limited clans. This deck has some sick combos. Mai has the skills. This dude, I don't know what he's doing. He needs to lock a rear guard and superior call from the drop zone. Come on, why did he lock his... What? Well, okay, he got Thanatos, but why did he lock his grade 2? He could have called, Banshee behind the grade 2. If I were him, I would have called Night Snow behind the Vanguard and locked the Vanguard. Whatever. He has some plan. Oh, yes. Okay, he needs to call a grade 2 to be safe. Because it's 1 to pass on Cositis. But Captain Nightmist, I don't think he should have swung with anything yet. He should have just swung into the Vanguard with his Vanguard. Alright, I think we got this, boys. He's 6 damage heal on me, and he just milled both of his heals. So I know he can't... I know he doesn't have a PG anymore. He should have called Banshee with that lock skill to draw a card, to hopefully draw into a PG. We'll see. He's out 2. There was 1 that we saw earlier on the early 20 drive. So I know at most he probably has none. So this is it. This is where Mai goes final turn. Oh, yes. She's here. It's time. Boom! Alright, let's do this. Soul Blast. Let's go. Yeah, we gotta kill... We gotta kill that, Captain Nightmist. Give me that critical. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Elvira. What? He actually had one. Okay, he drew into that then. Wow, but he has no heals left. So now I know for a fact he doesn't have a PG, because I saw one on his early twin drive. Neo Nectar was my favorite clan in Stride, during like the whole Stride, because Tokuwa was like one of the best characters in that entire series. I know he can't heal anymore. I know he's out of PGs, so we're gonna get him with Elvira on this final turn. Actually, I called final turn, so I can't do it again. Man, this was a really action-packed match, though. Man. Give me that grade 2. Kaivon, get over here. Give me that critical. Oh, yes. Man, that was a good game, dude. I like playing Grand Blue. They are so fun. That 6 damage heal was insane. And then he milled 2 heals after that. Wow! Yeah, well, Tokuha... yeah. 200 gems. There we go. We're farming up for Minerva, folks. That's what we're doing right now. We're almost to clan level 20. Alright. One gotcha two. Let's see, let me see how close I am. I think I'm done with the... no, I think it was 3 games. Hey, does anybody else... Is it just me, or is anyone else having a problem when you click on the mission... When you click on the mission button, it causes the game to freeze for like a good 10 seconds. Here, I'll show you guys. So I'm gonna click on mission, and then watch. See, okay, it freezes because nothing's happening. And eventually, it doesn't matter if you're on BlueStacks or if you're on Android, or it does it on like all the platforms. Because it does it on my phone, it does it on the computer. See how long it took to bring that up? And then when I click claim all, it's gonna freeze again here. Well, I mean, it only started doing it when the anniversary event and the Neo Nectar event were happening simultaneously. Because I know once these events clear out and it goes back to having no events, it won't be frozen like that. It'll be normal again. So I don't know what's causing the problem. Alright, I'm trying to get some Royal Paladin materials for Ashley Reverse, because that's the other deck that I want to build. There's 3 decks that I'm aiming for Brilliant Strike. Number 1 is Genesis. Number 2 is probably Dauntless Dominant Reverse. And number 3 is Ashley Reverse. I guess those 2 are kind of tied. Whichever one I can play, whichever one I can build, I'm fine with. Yeah, I'm thinking that too. Because there was another time when they had 2 events simultaneously. Because notice how there's the clan event, and then there's just the campaign. When there's 2 of them together... Oh, I gotta play one more game. Yeah, it seems like when there's multiple different events going on, they have this problem. But I'm trying to save up materials for Minerva and Angelica. So, like right now, I have 300 crystals. So I have enough to craft 2 Triple R's. Now, assuming I get enough pieces from opening the packs next month, I'll hopefully be able to craft at least 2 Genesis Triple R's. If not 3, if I can accumulate enough orbs between now and then. I want to at least have over 500 orbs going into the event or going into the new set, so that I just need to get like 100 more orbs to craft that 3rd Triple R. But that's basically how I planned things out. It took like a couple months to farm all those crystals. And then Ashley reverse. Hey, Alan. Man, you missed the insane... Alan missed the insane Neo Nectar combos in those last 2 games. Link Joker getting destroyed by Neo Nectar. They just literally rage quit. And then, Goki. The Grand Blue match was actually really fun. That was a really good match. That dude, like, 6 damage healed on me. The Link Joker opponent just rage quit. It just, like, quit out. Yeah, it was very anime, dude. I might have to make a deck profile video on Neo Nectar now because of how that match turned out. That was one of the most hype matches. I think the last time I ever had a match that was that hype was last year when I played Dreamy Fortress, the Lukier, the Season 2 Limit Break Pale Moon deck. And I guess before that, it was probably when I played 9 Crit Ezel and just, like, luck sack crits the whole time on stream. Against MLB, before MLB was nerfed. Yeah, Neo Nectar is awesome. So I'll show you guys the build. So those who were wondering, I had to craft 3 triple Rs yesterday. I saved up enough. I had enough material from the Arbros event and the initial. Well, I don't know about the initial one, but I know during the Arbros event I pulled a lot of Arbros. Or it was either Arbros. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I pulled a bunch of Arbros, and I didn't have to craft any Cecilias or something like that. But I think I pulled like 5 or 6 Arbros dragons. So I saved up a lot of crystals. So like yesterday, because I realized I don't think Neo Nectar gets any support for a long time. Like I know Legion is a thing, but I don't know if I don't know what the timeline is for Neo Nectar and Legion, because I know it's still considered one of those limited clans in terms of you can only get the cards during the clan event. But yeah, I had to craft 3 of this MVP over here. Where's he at? Is it a he or a she? I'm not sure. Oh, Sylvia. Sylvia is MVP. This card. Okay, let me tell you guys. Maiden of Physalis is by far the best starter for Neo Nectar. Hands down. If you're running Musketeers, do not run the Grade 3 Searcher. This card, you guys saw it. Those who were watching when this happened live, Maiden of Physalis went into Sylvia at rest. Sylvia came out rest, then called out like a Kaivant or something in the front row, so the boosted Mirka in the back row was able to hit the Vanguard. Like, I dealt 2 damage on my first turn, and the guy checked the defensive trigger. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. I have not seen combos like that in a long time. Not even Nova Grappler. Maybe Beast Deities. No, but even Beast Deities with Max Beat. I don't even. You need Counterblast. This deck did all of that with 0 Counterblast. Physalis doesn't need Counterblast. It just goes in the soul as fuel for Elvira later on. I mean, this by far is the best start. It's a 5k. It's a proper boost for the correct numbers. Yeah, so I'll show you guys. So this is but this thing, Sylvia, oh man, this is like Devil Summoner on steroids. This thing is like so good. This thing the worst thing this can do is pull out like a draw or a crit trigger if you're running crit triggers. And I recommend running 4 crit. And the reason why is because with this deck, there's a high chance, if you go up against someone, let's say you go up against Angel Feathers, because I lost to Neo Nectar like 2 days ago. I was climbing with Ramiel Reverse. Ramiel Reverse is really the only deck that I've been playing pretty much the last 2, since the Neo Nectar event started. I've just been using Rekka Reverse and her Ramiel Reverse deck the whole time. And occasionally I'll come across someone playing Neo Nectar, and I straight up lose to them because they can outlast Angel Feather. Angel Feather has 5 heals if you're running Sunny Smile, which I definitely recommend. So you have 5 heals. And here's the thing with Celestials. Celestials... Wait, you're not Celestials. Celestials has the ability to fetch PGs out of the damage zone. You damage check a PG, you just use Nariel to just, or No Seal, to grab it out of the damage zone. Now, in fact, I think I'm thinking of changing Becca for an 8k No Seal, just for an extra No Seal, so I have like six cards that can swap. But basically, every time I would go against Neo Nectar, it was more of a headache to play against Neo Nectar using Angel Feathers than any other clan. I would rather go against Link Joker or any of the, you know, the hodgepodge, mishmash, meta, whatever you want to call them, Revengers and all that other, you know, that other riffraff. So, but when I go against Neo Nectar, they always somehow outlast me because, I kid you not, I decked out against 2 different Neo Nectar opponents using this deck the other day. And then when I tried Neo Nectar yesterday, when I first built the deck, I finally completed it yesterday. I played like 2 games with it. I decked out on the first game. I was running 9 draw. So the reason why I was running 9 draw, because I thought, okay, if I need extra attacks, I can final turn them with Maiden of Venus and use her to, you know, kind of do a thing where when it attacks the Vanguard, you basically use your 2 attackers, then you attack their Vanguard, do her thing, and then hopefully top deck something on the field that you can boost and, you know, finish them off. So that was the idea. But the problem, and we just saw this on stream earlier, the problem with Maiden of Venus Trap Muse is that it can whiff. The skill's not guaranteed, especially in late game when your deck is kind of low on certain grade 2s or grade 1s, so it's kind of hard to do the skill. So it's not as reliant as something like Descendant or some other kind of final turn sort of Vanguard. But it's still, I still feel like this is more useful for Musketeers than either the reverse unit or Arboros Dragon. I'm thinking maybe Arboros Dragon, but the thing is Arboros Dragon isn't really needed because it, you know, the best thing about Arboros is you can Counterblast 2 to call a card with the same card name as a rear guard. So I can see Arboros being a decent backup. The only reason why I don't want to run him is because I don't like 10k Vanguards just in general. Like, especially this far in the game's history, I just don't want to run a 10k Vanguard. They didn't give the Venus Trap reverse. Yeah, I know. They should have buffed it. Honestly, guys, so I think I ranted about Revengers before. Even though Revengers, historically, Revengers have been one of my main decks way back once upon a time. But in Vanguard 0, I feel like this deck got unnecessary buffs that they didn't need. Like, seriously, Mordred Phantom should still have a Counterblast 1 cost associated with his limit break. This I don't understand what they were thinking, making this free. The fact that Dorant is in the game, the fact that Tartu got buffed to Counterblast 1 instead of Counterblast 2. I mean, come on, guys. Either they need to make Tartu Counterblast 2 again, which I think probably is the main thing they need to change, or they need to make Mordred have Counterblast 1, just like he's supposed to have. The other thing, too, is Raging Form needs a nerf. This card, the original effect down here, in the physical card, it was when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may Counterblast 1 to get 3000 power. They need to put that Counterblast 1 back on this skill, or they need to remove the skill completely, because the Persona Ride going to 21,000 going up against a Cross Ride should not be a guaranteed hit to a Cross Ride. That's unfair and this is very broken. Just saying. I've played this deck a lot back in like late February, early March, and I can tell you guys, this deck is busted. Like, it's S tier unnecessarily. Like, that, there's a reason why no one is playing Eradicators anymore. It's because all of them switched over to Revengers. And it's kind of sad, but I really feel like this deck needs a serious nerf. Like, they need to do like at least two out of the 3 things I mentioned. Either Tartu needs to be CB2, Mordred needs to be CB1, and Raging Form needs to either have this plus 3k needs to be CB1, or it needs to be removed entirely. Like, seriously, that needs to be done. Like, 2 out of those 3 changes need to happen to this deck. That it's annoying. This deck has too many buffs for no reason. Like they buff Revengers. They buff like 3 cards on Revengers. Don't even start on the fact that Raging Form has the ability to duplicate itself. That's like a slap in the face to all the other Persona Blast based cards that can't do that. Like, what were they thinking with that? That's a joke. So yeah, that deck is kind of dumb. Like, it's that something like this. You show this to the people who make Hearthstone, and they're gonna laugh. Like, in terms of like, they're gonna think that the game studio doesn't understand how to make a competitive card game. It's sad, but it's true. But other than that, the only viable 10k right now is Dayusha. Yeah, for that early crit pressure. Yeah, I would agree. Well, I mean, this thing, but a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people, most people run this as the heal trigger. I could run it the heal trigger. I refuse to do so. I'd rather run the 11k as the heal, just because 11k can't be run over by a random 10k grade 2 if they have nothing else to attack, and this is a rear guard. So that's the main reason why. I minimize 10k base power in my deck as much as possible. But yeah, Revengers, I haven't even touched them since like over a month ago, just because I think that it's stupid. Like, yeah, stupid in a good way, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, the other deck, I don't know if anyone's tried this other deck, but there's another, so with Brilliant Strike, there's 2 different Neo Nectar decks that you can build. There's the Musketeers, which we've already showcased, and then there's the Maiden deck, which is this one. I haven't tried this one out. I guess we could try it now. We've done some insane matches with the Musketeers. Okay, we'll do this last game using the Maidens. Now, I haven't actually played them at all, but we're gonna test them out here and see how they do. But Musketeers are fast. They are fast, and they have some flashy plays. They have, like, flourish and flash and style. It's so cool, man. The deck is so hype. Okay, so I guess what I'll do here, we can probably go Trailing Rose, I'm thinking. But see, Trailing Rose can't do what Raging Form can do, to just randomly create a copy of itself. This deck runs a lot of 10Ks. So if this guy doesn't have grade 1s, this will be, well, he can use this thing. Oh, but it has to hit a Vanguard. So let's see. I'm gonna probably put this as the rear guard here. Or actually, well, no, because this is 15, right? We'll just do. Thing is, I should probably punish him with 2 damage because I can guarantee 15 to 15. That's why. Let's go ahead and set up the field. Let's get some other stuff out here. I think I might actually take that 10k Interceptor. Although, let's see what's in my hand. I don't have a booster, so I'm going to go ahead and take Corolla. I'm going to put Corolla somewhere over here. Okay, so he did have a grade 1. Blau is another deck that I would have tried out if I had all the cards. I don't have a complete Blau deck, so I'm just not even gonna bother with it. That pushed a lot of damage. We're gonna go with her. Alright, what is this? When this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, counterblast one solo one called Cherry Stone. I would rather just, you know. Alright, we'll try this. Kill his card, +1 off of it, so that's a +2 in advantage. I think it's, what is it? Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1 to call. Yeah, so we'll just Soul Blast this. And then put her over here. To set up the field. Deck thin. So it's very much kind of like a Paladin deck, this one. Musketeers is actually kind of like Gold Paladin, and Maidens are more like Royal Paladin. Alright, there's a PG. Just got Mount Mon. He chose Mon, which makes me wonder if he even had another grade 3. Alright. We're gonna have to use Lock. Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty strong, so I guess this will run over this. And do I have, how many Cherry Stones do I got left? I got none, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this down. I need a heal. Oh wow. Alright, unfortunately we're up against Blau and we're at 5 damage. And he has a Dancing Wolf, so we probably lost. I guess the only thing I could have done differently there is, well, see the thing is, I'm saving that last Counterblast for Maiden of Venus Trap Muse for the next turn, assuming I can survive this. That's why I didn't use it, because I could have used her skill. It's not once per turn. I could have locked my Vanguard booster to Superior Call it, hopefully another grade 2, so I could conserve the one in my hand. But I think we lost here because of this Break Ride. You have... Oh, the material. Wow, that's a lot of triple R material. Really? And this guy manages to heal. I need the 6 damage heal off of one of these guys. Okay, he can't restand because he... Okay, come on, 6 damage heal and then 6 damage heal again. Oh, okay, whatever. Alright, well that was the last game I needed to play, and I got Legend 15, which was what I wanted, because I wanted those 200 gems. But that's the Maiden deck, for those that wanted to see it in action. It's a fun deck. It's not nearly as good as Musketeers though, because it can't, okay, it can Superior Call with Maiden of, there's Cherry Stone and Cherry Bloom. So Cherry Bloom is the better one because it can Superior Call the grade 1 for free, just for Soul Blast 1 and Counterblast 1, whereas the grade 1, when it boosts, the boosted attack hits a Vanguard, you can send it back to the deck to call the grade 2. So that's, it's kind of like the Seed Squire and the Knight of Verdir and Jean in that regard. But they don't really do a whole lot. So they call it rest, which is the main problem. They call it rest, so you can't really do anything if you were to say check a trigger. Kind of like what you guys saw earlier. So the alternative with Musketeers, the reason why Musketeers is so good is because Sylvia can potentially do the Devil Summoner thing only way better. It can basically call everything, like there have been 2 or 3 games that I've played so far. One of them was on stream, and people that were in stream saw it, where you can call Sylvia, then Sylvia can call another Sylvia. I've done Sylvia into Sylvia, and then Sylvia calls like a grade 1 behind one of the 2 Sylvias. So that pretty much means you only need to, and if you get like a Rebecca or a Kaivon or something, if you get a Rebecca, you call it behind Sylvia, then you can retire the other Sylvia, then call like a different grade 2 or something. So it's pretty cool. This deck is really fun. Yeah, this is one of my favorite decks right now. That's why it's at the top of the list. And I think I'm gonna try Leopold Reverse. Well, I don't know, because I'm thinking of using the anniversary medals to get the final Leopold Reverse. I'm so close to finishing this deck. I'm going to be able to craft the final Amon Reverse soon. So I know, like, on Thursday, I'll be able to craft this. I just need 10 more crystals, and I've got it. So I'm not going to have to get him. So that deck will be done. Although the Reiji deck is really good. Like, these decks down here, so the Bellhop, Tetsu, Blade Wings, this deck is really good. You just have to know how to time some of your attacks and stuff correctly. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna complete some of the decks, and then the other one that I need to complete is Miracle Pop Eva. So I got really unlucky and only pulled 1. I've slowly been crafting the other 2, so I need 1 more. But I think I'd rather work on crafting this one. I don't know, 14 crystals. This is kind of a ways off. Great Nature is... Where's Great Nature at? I don't know. Maybe I'll complete the other one. But Leopold Reverse... I just want to play the reverse decks. That's why. I'm prioritizing the reverse decks. So this is... it's about the same. Although I have a lot more... pieces. So maybe I should craft Leopold and get Eva, because I don't have many pieces for Pale Moon. And I feel like I don't have too much experience with Great Nature in general. I never mained Great Nature in the past. But I do know that Polaris was super fun. And I did play this deck during the rental period. So the Break Ride plus Leopold Reverse can do some really nutty plays. Yeah, Blau, I need 2 more Break Ride. You know what disappointed me? Tetra Drive really disappointed me in this so far. Like, I feel like like the Season 2 Maelstrom and Glory Maelstrom, I just feel like that deck is better than this one. I don't know. I did try this one out. It just doesn't really seem... like, the problem with Tidal Assault, he doesn't have any way to just attack the Vanguard. But, you know, like, the way Basil and Diamantis have that buffed skill to counterblast 1 and ignore intercept, the fact that he doesn't have anything like that kind of really damages this deck. But because it requires you to commit so many resources to ensure that you can do your little restand play. So you kind of have to have the right setup. And I understand why they came up with these type of cards to counteract Link Joker, because if Link Joker locks, like if Nebula locks a back row unit or something, then Basil can't trade with him. Yeah, I don't know. I used up a lot of resources to build this deck at the beginning of this month, and saw very mixed results with the deck overall. It was very disappointing, to be honest. Like, some of my games using this deck were literally... The only reason why I won had nothing to do with Tetra Drive or Tidal Assault or Wheel Assault, which actually is the best card in the deck. But it was just because I was at 5 damage. I plopped down Glory Maelstrom and just win, and the guy's at 4 damage, and he didn't have a grade 3. And I just felt like, wow, okay, I'm winning because of a Season 2 Ultimate Break skill. Nothing to do with any of these new cards. People run criticals with this deck? Why, though? Like, this deck, there's no draw power. And the thing with Aquaforce is you commit so much to the field that you... I don't know. I don't think the crit triggers are worth it. I don't know. It's that makes it way too... That makes it way too hit or miss. That's like when people were... Like when Seal Dragons first came out, there was a bunch of people trying out critical triggers with Seal Dragons. No, I don't know. I always liked Tetra Drive, though, from back in the day. That's why I really wanted to build the deck. I used up so many resources to complete this deck. And I don't know. I feel like I probably should have saved up my resources for Maelstrom Reverse, to be honest. I think Maelstrom Reverse will be really good. I think all they need to do is give Tidal Assault... Basically, all they have to do is change this effect to say, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. Rather than at the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. I think it doesn't... It should not have to attack a Vanguard just to be able to restand. It's once per turn, so it can't, like, loop it over and over and over again. So, I think if they did that, that would probably fix 90% of the problems that this deck has. Because in playtesting this deck... Wheel Assault has been more reliant. I've had to rely on Wheel Assault to get to 4th battle more so than Tidal Assault, which says a lot. And originally, I didn't even have Basil in here. I threw him in here just because of how inconsistent Tidal Assault was. Same thing with Diamantis. I think I tried out... Originally, I think I was playing Juan Benedict, the grade 3 Tidal Assault. I was playing this guy, and then I realized, what am I doing? This is a 10k grade 3. This unit is trash. And then I like took it out and put Diamantis in. And it was instantly better. So I don't know, that deck is just kind of disappointing. It's very meh. Reverse Daiusha is a deck that I really like playing. Daikaiser. Originally, I felt like Daikaiser was going to be so busted, but then when I realized, in reality, how sometimes you just don't check a grade 3 on the break ride turn, that kind of is like, okay. Then it becomes like a coin toss type of deck. It's very high roll. Very high roll. The grade 2 important for the future. Oh, you mean Tidal Assault? I would say so. Yes, I would say Tidal Assault is very important. Okay, in the physical card game, Tidal Assault was always one of the best Aquaforce units in the game. What? Oh, this is the wrong one. Megumi has like too many different decks. Where's Aquaforce? Yes, the Tidal Assault should be important. But I don't know. If they never do anything with this card's effect, then maybe it won't be. Because I feel like this card would be so much better if it could restand after attacking an Interceptor. Because think about it. Like, if after it attacks the Interceptor, it restands, it becomes 4k. So, assuming you have a 7k booster behind it, that would be 4 plus 7, so that would be 11. So that could hit a standard Vanguard on the second attack. So that would fix a lot of the issues. And then after that, you could do, you know, like if you had Wheel Assault boost him, then Wheel Assault could swap him and some other unit, usually like a grade 2 or a 3 that's behind the Vanguard with Tidal Assault. So you could swap like a Coral Assault or a Valeria or an Algos. That's the reason why I'm running them. Actually, they're in there because of Wheel Assault, being able to swap them into the front row. So if Link Joker is bad in the future, would it still be good? Well, okay, the idea with Tidal Assault is actually supposed to be Aquaforce's counter to Link Joker. I know that sounds very weird, but it actually is. Because Basil and Diamantes, if they get locked, or if the unit behind them gets locked. So, like, for example, if you're up against Nebula, and Nebula locks the thing behind Basil, then Basil can't, you know... Even if you kill their Basil, then they call another Basil down, or Diamantes, they can't enable the second attack after they attack the Vanguard, because they can't swap. So, the idea with Tidal Assault is he can attack, he enables 2 attacks by himself, whereas Basil and Diamantes require 2 cards to do 2 attacks. So, a front and a back row. So he basically, it's a two for 1. So I would say it's important. So in the long run, it's probably still going to be pretty important. I don't know how important it'll be. Maybe in Legion it'll be better. But even in Legion, though, back then, Aquaforce was still one of the worst decks during Legion format. They were actually way worse in Legion than they were during Break Ride and even, like, the Limit Break deck. So, I don't know. I think okay, let's put it this way. If you have the Tidal Assaults, it's good to have them. If you don't have them, I would say don't sweat it. Like, I would rather craft Maelstrom Reverse or Glory Maelstrom over a Tidal Assault. I think those 2 cards will get you a lot further in this game than Tidal Assault. Same thing with Transcore. I'd rather craft the Break Ride over Tidal Assault. Now, when you compare Tidal Assault with Tetra Drive, then that's where it gets a little bit... That's up for debate, because Tetra Drive is also kind of... It's okay, but, you know, it's... I don't know. I think Maelstrom and Glory Maelstrom and Maelstrom Reverse are all better than this card. This card requires so many additional cards to like, the conditions for this thing to do its fancy attack. Like, it's really only good with the Break Ride. Without the Break Ride, this card is kind of... it's like a worse Descendant. Yeah, I'd say so. That sounds about right. Like, the only let's put it this way. The only time I've ever come across Aquaforce this month has been people playing the typical Maelstrom deck, the Season 2 deck, with the self-damagers and Glory Maelstrom, and, you know, that's it. Like, I've never played against anybody using Tetra Drive. Now, I myself tried Tetra Drive earlier this month, and I saw mixed results with it. I felt like it required so much work and additional thinking compared to Maelstrom that I felt like it makes sense why people aren't playing it. Yeah, and I think if you don't have Tidal Assault, you can still build this deck without it. Like, you can still do, like, let's say I didn't have this at all. I would run 4 Basil. I would probably... Yeah, I would keep Diamantes at 1. I would... Assuming you have Wheel Assault, I would run max copies of Wheel Assault. And then for the grade 2s... let me think. What would I actually put in here? Oh, I'll probably put some Coral Assaults in. I'll probably do this. That's what I would do. If you don't have Tidal Assault, just run some kind of line. Like, I mean, if you don't like Valeria and Algos, then you can run Lazarus or one of the Hololive 10Ks. That would be fine also. Doesn't really matter. Those are good defense cards. The reason why I like Algos and Valeria is because Wheel Assault can swap them into the front row so they can go fourth to the Vanguard and get their effect. So this can retire a rearguard. I like Valeria in here a lot because I don't run Maelstrom at all, so I have no way to retire my opponent's rearguards, and using Valeria allows me to retire an opponent's rearguard. Algos is in here for additional draw, but I think Valeria is more useful because this deck has no retire power, and it already has, you know, we got 2 penguins, we have 9 draw, we have the bubble Draco Kid, so I feel like Algos, in fact, you could even do like 4 Valeria and 2 Algos, or 4 Coral Assaults and like 2 Algos. Does the grade 1 cost anything? No, it costs Counterblast 1. It's Counterblast 1 to swap any 2 rearguards on the field. But this card is super important. Like this card, and it's only a double R, so it's pretty good, easy to get. But this card is very, very important. It's better than Tidal Assault. I'm serious. It's way better than Tidal Assault. Because if let's say you're up against Link Joker and Chaos Breaker Dragon early locks one of your front row, so you can put Wheel Assault in the open column behind like some random attacker, and then you put another attacker behind your Vanguard, and then you just use Wheel Assault to swap the 2 attackers between the one behind the Vanguard and the one in front of Wheel Assault. So you can still get 3 attacks even though you have a locked front row with Wheel Assault. That's why Wheel Assault is so important. Now, you could also do it with Basil, but the problem with Basil is, like, he forces you to move the thing that's behind him. So if you have a grade 1 behind him, like, say, Wheel Assault, or one of these things, it's not going to really do a whole lot for your offense. So that's why I find Wheel Assault a lot more useful. But yeah, this is what I would do. Like, if I didn't have any Tidal Assaults, this... And in fact, this might even be better than the deck that I was showing originally. It might be more consistent with just traditional Basils at max copy with Wheel Assaults. Because basically what you want to do is... So, the way I build decks, I always think of what the deck needs to do. So in this case, you need to get 4 attacks, right? And then... Of course, Tetradrive will attack 5th. He attacks twice. He attacks either 2nd or 3rd, and then a rearguard goes 4th, and then he goes 5th. So, because of that, you need to have at least 8 cards. Anywhere from 8 to 12 cards that can enable the 4 attacks. So Basil counts, so we have 4 of him. Wheel Assault counts, that's 4 of him, that's 8 cards. And then we have a Diamantis, so that's 9 cards that enable the 4 attacks. Now, if you want it to be even more consistent, like you would run even more... Well, I guess Coral Assault might be better than Algos, to be honest. Because I don't have... Yeah, Coral Assault might actually be more important than Algos. But we'll see. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I can just use my Vanguard to attack their Vanguard, like 3rd or something. So... but what I was doing before is I was doing... this. So I have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12. Remember I said 8 to 12. So 12 is kind of the upper end of your 4 attack enablers. 4th battle attack enablers. Or 4th battle enablers. So I'm kind of maxed here. If you go beyond 12, then it kind of becomes cloggy. Which is not a terrible problem. But it does detract from... cards that have more useful effects. I call them utility cards or tech cards. Cards like the Penguin, cards like Valeria, cards like Algos. Cards that do things other than get you more attacks. You could do that. You could use the grade 1 10k attacker. I assume you're talking about where's this guy right here? I assume you're talking about Brave Shooter. I don't like Brave Shooter because of how inconsistent he can be sometimes. In some certain scenarios, his condition where you have one or less other rested rearguard can prevent him from getting the 3k power, which is the reason why I don't really like him. I also don't like swapping a grade 2 into the back row for a grade 1 that can't intercept after my turn's over. So that's the reason why I'd rather swap like one of these cards into the front row and then have them go forth so they can do their skill. So something like that. I guess what I could do, I could drop Diamantes. Like, if I wanted to change the deck further, I could see myself doing this. I could put one Maelstrom in and for the grade 3 lineup, and then for the grade 2, I could drop one Algos and put a 4th Basel. So I could do this. So 4 Basel, 4 Tidal Assault, 4 Wheel Assault, and then my grade 3 lineup has that one Maelstrom. So it does give me the potential to do the Maelstrom play. The old school style. So I could do this too. So this is another alternative build. Yeah, the 12Ks I think are actually a solid choice. But sometimes you don't really need the 12K because you'll have to do, say, attack the Interceptor, and then your other grade 2. So it really depends actually. The reason why I run the Seal Soldier, for those wondering, I use this on Tidal Assault. Well, not Basel. I use it on Tidal Assault to make Tidal Assault 11. So usually this will go behind my Vanguard, or sometimes it'll be on the right or left side where Wheel Assault will be on one of the opposite columns. What I do with this guy is I rest him to give Tidal Assault 2, so Tidal becomes 11, so I can swing unboosted into their Vanguard, then restand. So then he'll become 11 minus 5, so he'll be 6 plus a boost. If the Penguin's behind him, that's still 11. If any random thing like Wheel Assault is behind him, or this thing. So you see what I'm saying? So I can still do multiple attacks. That's the reason why I'm running this thing. For those who are wondering, why am I running the Seal Soldier? It's only there to help Tidal Assault hit the Vanguard without a booster. And then restand. So I guess if I wanted to, I could drop the Penguin Soldier, but I still like the Penguin Soldier. I could drop the Penguin for the 10k, this guy. That might be an okay change, because I'll drop the Penguin, but I'll have a better offense. And I mean, and then I'll probably do triple Algos for that draw power to make up for the lack of the Penguin. Although this is not nearly as consistent as the Penguin, because it doesn't draw you a card during the main phase. So, it's kind of, there's some trade-offs there. But that's the cool thing. The thing about Aquaforce is such a, it's one of those decks that I find myself brainstorming so much on all these different ways to put the deck together. It's always been like that. It's just been one of those clans, because it has a lot of tough matchups, but it's also a deck that can sometimes just steamroll the opponent. Alright, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave what I had before. Anybody besides Asterix been playing, and myself, have been playing Celestials? Or specifically Ramiel Reverse? Originally I thought Zerachiel was better, but after climbing most of Legend, I pretty much climbed to Legend 11 with only this deck. And I don't play this game too hardcore anymore. Like, you guys know me, back in the day, back when this game was like, about a year ago, I would always climb to like Legend 50. Now I don't do that anymore. So now the goal is to get to Legend 10. So I just at least get one copy of each promo card or each rank reward card. That's basically all I do now. Is just get to Legend 10, get some gems, and that's all I really do. At least get Legend 3 and 5 for those card sleeves. That's all I do now. But in just casually playing the game, just Ramiel Reverse is actually amazing. I like Ramiel Reverse a lot more than Zerakiel now, because there have been some hilarious matches where I'll never forget. There was this one matchup against Link Joker where the guy, like, the thing with Ramiel Reverse is she keeps on disrupting the opponent's back row, so it's kind of like retiring their rear guards, but it's not a retire effect. It's like a weird select their unit and then put it in the damage zone, and then something goes into the drop zone. So it can get around the Stamped Sea Otter, the Great Nature guy that can't be retired. It's hilarious. But anyway, so I would keep getting rid of this guy's Palladiums, so he couldn't relock anything. And then I was cross-ridden after I did my cross break ride. So I'm 13k, and this Link Joker guy is on CBD, Chaos Breaker Dragon, and he attacks me. I'll never forget this. He attacks he's 11 to my 13 because he doesn't have a booster. He has like another column that can hit like 16. I think he has like a Colony Maker and like a Palladium or that 7k Starvader thing that's a 10k attacker when it's in the front row. He has some column like that, and then he has CBD. So he attacks my Ramiel with his Chaos Breaker. He checks a heal trigger, not knowing that Ramiel, and in fact, I didn't even think of it either. So he heals. He heals, puts the power on Chaos Breaker, so he goes up to 16k, unaware of the fact that when either one of us heal, Ramiel gains 5,000 power. So she goes up to 18k while he heals. So he heals, goes up to 16k, she goes up to 18k just passively. And then he just whiff hit, and then after that he just up and left. He just like quit out after that. Oh man, this deck is so hard to kill. Like, even if you're playing as a super heavy aggro deck like Blau, this deck is so hard to beat down because it has 5 heals. Sunny Smile Angel, the best heal in the game, legendary, and you damage check PGs, and you're the only clan in the game that when you damage check PGs, you actually smile. Like, you don't mind seeing that happen. Everyone else is sad facing everywhere. And then you just see a PG and your face just lights up and you're just happy because you got a Nariel in hand or you got the No-Seal in hand, and you just swap it out, put Danielle in there, or put your extra Zerakiel or whatever you want to throw in there, random grade 3 or something, and then grab that PG. You guys have seen me play Metatron during Limit Break season, and I've done the same thing with the No-Seals. It's so good. You have PGs for days. This is the deck that Dimension Robos dreads facing off, because not only is Daikaiser kind of high roll, but this deck just kind of laughs at it. Crossride's very good. That's the reason why I honestly feel like right now, as long as you play any reverse deck, with I guess the one exception being the Neo Nectar one, because that one's not a Crossride, but if you play any reverse deck on Ranked, doesn't matter which one it is, it could be any of them. Ramiel, Vowing Saber, Lukier, Amon reverse, all of them. Leopold reverse, you'll have a relatively easy time getting to Legend 10, or 20, or 30. Doesn't matter. As long as you know how to play the deck, you know the combos, you play well enough, you'll get by. All the reverse decks are so good. They give you access to Break Ride. They give you Cross Break Ride. They give you Cross Break Ride, which is so good in this current meta. Yeah, Reverse Dayusha, all of them are pretty good. Now, Reverse Dayusha is this one is kind of hard to use, though. Although, I'm not an expert in Dimension Police, so I don't have a lot to say with this deck. Yeah, but if you play the reverse decks, you can get to Legend 10 pretty fast. Like, I don't know what it is, but I literally, like, I just wait for people to climb ahead of me, and then I start playing as Remy Reverse, and it only takes me like 2 games to rank up, because I get like 45 plus points each game. This, I don't know, this deck, I don't know what's the optimal build. I think my build is good enough. I was kind of thinking of running Commander Laurel, but I don't think Commander Laurel is really necessary in here. And I think it kind of hurts the consistency. Maybe it's good, I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think Commander Laurel's worth running in here? Because if we run him, I guess what I would do is I wouldn't run this guy. I'd probably... If I wanted to run Commander Laurel... Here, let's play Dimension, please, on stream. Wait, why is this in here? Here, let's test this out. I guess I'll run one of these guys. Do we need the green guy that gives you critical? I don't think so. I think just run this and see what happens. Here, let's just do it. Let's just do it, guys. Here. Let's test it out. I don't know. I mean, I have barely played this deck. Let's just play. Let's just see what happens. I did play it a couple times. I think I played like 5 games and I won like 2 out of 5. Alright, here we go. We're running with Laurel. We're running with 4 Laurels. Because why wouldn't you run with 4 Laurels if you have 4 Laurels? Oh, look who it is. Link Joker, of course. Alright, here we go. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. Alright, we ride one. Throw this one over here. Let's go. Yeah, because you can't... Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Because you lock 2 rear guards, then you can't do the restand. But I'm thinking for early game, right? Like with Super Daiusha, or with just Daikaiser on Daikaiser. Or even just Ultimate Daiusha. Do you guys think I should do this? Oh no, I don't even need to do that. Here, let's get Daikaiser. We need Daikaiser. Give me that Daikaiser quick. SP. Because Daikaiser is your main win condition. You need that break ride skill. This is not the ideal. Well, these are good to have, but this, yeah, this isn't really doing anything for me here. Oh wow, we've seen like 3 Laurels. I rode one, there's one in my hand, damage check the 3rd one. Alright, let's do this. All we gotta do... I can't even do Laurel because I don't have enough units. There's the last Laurel. Oh good, he lost 1 PG. You love to see that, because all I need to do is draw any random grade 3, and then just break right on top of that Kaiser. And then we'll be good. Well, he would do something if I had a bunch of cards. I just haven't hit any draw triggers. I hit a heal trigger, I rode my, I superior ride my grade 3, and I put the one from my hand into soul. So I haven't checked a single draw trigger yet. And this guy's checked 2. He damage checked 1 and he just checked 1. There we go. Oh yes, Daikaiser into Daikaiser. That will actually work. Ooh. Alright, so let's do this. Let's punch him. We'll just Daikaiser into Daikaiser then. What's he gonna do? Lock that entire column? He's gonna lock a grade 3. That does make Laurel absolutely useless though. Oh wow. Wow, lots of grade 3s. I don't think he needed to call that many of those guys down. Come on, I need a trigger here. Give me a heal. Give me a heal. Come on. Wow. I have, we haven't... Okay, wait, what? Oh yeah, I whiff healed the first damage. Yeah, but he's got no intercepts. So let's see what happens. This is all you gotta do. Now I haven't checked a lot of triggers, so there's a high chance that I get one here. Here we go, boys. Oh yes! Show me those 2 PGs. 1, 2. Whoa! He had 2. Whoa! He actually had 2, so that's 3 gone. What's he gonna do? Relock my grade 3? Probably. Oh man, he retired. Okay. I need to check a draw trigger and draw like an ultimate Dayusha to win next turn. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. What? Come on, give me a draw. Oh wow. Alright, well, we're going to 6 damage heal. We got 2. Yeah, we probably lost. Because it's like, look how many grade 1s are just sitting there. We're going to damage check a grade 1 here. Yeah, told you guys, grade 1. I called it. Yeah, it's... I don't know. But I feel like even if that Laurel was a different grade 1, I don't even know if that would have made much of a difference. Spray and pray. That guy actually had 2 PGs in his hand. Very feels bad. As I quickly put it back to the way it was. Alright, let me try again with this other build. we gotta make Dayusha great again. Where is it? You know what's funny? I feel like this Gold Paladin Spectral Duke deck is probably better than that Dayusha deck. This 8 crit 1 draw Catastrophe is actually pretty good. I feel like even Prisms might be better than that. That was so weird. Turbo Daikaiser? Okay. Hey, I have Turbo Daikaiser. He's right there. Look, Turbo Daikaiser's right here. Oh, you mean the grade 2 that isn't even in the game yet. The one that comes out with the cross ride. Damage Exploders. Damage Exploders. Well, I mean, I've got this guy. I call him Shield Guy. Shield Guy is the one who does the turbo He turbos out your Daikaiser. Here, let's try again. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. this deck is so good. Not. Come on, Kenji. All you gotta do... Okay, I gotta win with Kenji one time just to get to a different... Just like... Oh, no. Here comes Neo Nectar. This is gonna be a long game. I wish I had those Tokugawa sleeves. I don't have those. Alright, look. I don't have a great... I don't care. Just whatever. YOLO. Let's go. Just... I don't even know if I'm going first or second. I didn't even check. Look at this hand. I got 2 pairs. I got... Okay, there we go. Let's call... No. This is the best ride. And put this over here. Yeah, I got my shield guy. So as long as I can draw like a Super Daiyusha or something, we're set. Reinhardt. What? Oh, we saw that Sylvia. Oh, come on. I need that grade 3. I opened up with no grade 3 in hand. And I still... Oh, this is what I mean! This is what I'm talking about! Oh, if you went Sylvia into Sylvia, did you see that? I don't have a grade 3 to do the skill. Oh, now I do. Oh, I should have. Oh, I'm an idiot. I should have put the effect. I should have put the power on him so he could have done the thing. Oh well. Oh well. It's okay. We have reverse Daiyusha. That was a misplay, guys. Did everybody see that misplay? I should have put the power on him so that I would have been able to put this in the soul and then get Daikaiser out. Because you really need Daikaiser as your first ride. If you miss your break ride with this deck, the likelihood that you'll win the match is very low. It's like you're reducing your chances. Okay, I like that. That was good. That was a very good defensive draw into a PG, so that was actually pretty good. Okay, Ultimate Daiyusha. We have... Because this is all about reverse, we're going reverse. I don't care if Ultimate Daiyusha is better right now. I don't care. We're going reverse. We're gonna show how good this guy really is. That's what this is about. Alright, we're going 19 again. Even though that was a waste of... That was just a waste. But anyway. Alright, here we go. In this scenario, Laurel wouldn't be bad to have right now. Oh, I should have used this. I forgot to use this guy's skill. I could have drawn off of that Vanguard hit if I used that. Oh well. We'll do it next turn. Okay, Kai. Thanks for stopping by. You were like the first one in the chat. You came in like right when the hype match with the Musketeers was happening earlier. How do you switch servers? What do you mean switch servers? I missed the Neo Nectar event because I switched to the JP servers. Oh, it's one of these players. It's the people who have like... Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, thank you. Oh no! Alright, what do I want to do here? Okay, I need to save this effect. If your Vanguard is Daiyusha, put this into in a dimensional robo into the soul to have the Vanguard get 1 critical. I don't need to do that. What I want to do is use this. I want to hit the Vanguard and draw. Oh, I should have... Whoops, I should have called this guy. Oops. Whatever. Too late. Come on, heal. Heal. Thank you. Heal trigger. You need JP in it? What? Oh, I drew my heal. Wonderful. Wonderful. Give her more critical power so that because I don't have a PG. Going for a crit as Musketeer seems overkill for no reason. At least with 3, you can damage the 92. What? Well, I don't know what they were doing. They have a plan. They're just trying to make Elvira look very threatening. Because that card is so threatening. It's an SP. Watch, here comes Sylvia. Okay, well that's close. So then Counterblast 1, get a critical, then Counterblast 1 and retire the Rebecca. I would retire Rebecca because Kaiman can hit this 9. Although that's a 16k column, so... Oh, I see what she's doing. Is she gonna really go to 4 criticals again? I hope not. That's 3. If she attacks me with something before attacking with her, I really need to check a defensive trigger here. If she... Oh, no. Oh, yes. Please don't check a trigger, although there's a high chance that she's gonna get one now. Come on. Oh, yes! Oh! Kenji! S-tier Dayusha. You saw it here first. Moment of silence for Neo Nectar. Wow. I gave her the damage, but even if I didn't give her the damage, she ran damage. She runs those self-damagers, which just so happen to be convenient Musketeer cards. So that's the reason why I didn't really care. Like, that was the most epic match. Yes, F in chat for our little flower friend. Well, I don't know then. Okay, well she would have had a limit break anyway. Even if she only had 1 counterblast. I don't know, whatever. You saw it. We still won. Alright. Alright, let's exchange all 50 of these for 50 medals. And now, I've got 54 of these, so now the time has come to decide what deck to complete. Either Leopold Reverse, or... You know, I could also get a 4th Iwanaga Hime for my Regalia deck, but I think Regalia, I don't think I need 4 of those as the heal. I could just run Fortuna or something instead. But I only have 3 of these right now. But realistically, I have 1 Descendant, so I could always use a 2nd Descendant. That's a good card to have. But I don't care too much about Descendant, because Vowing Saber Reverse is my hero. This and Sweep Command are the only 2 Eradicators that I cared to have 4 copies of. I only have 3 of the Gauntlet Buster, and I only have 1 Descendant, even though I'd rather it be the other way around. So for that 1 hype match, how far in the stream? It was at the very beginning of the stream. Literally as soon as you start the stream, I started the stream already like mid-game. So the first game, like literally the first 10 to 30 seconds is already like a pretty good combo if I recall. And then the second game against, I think it was Goki. So, okay, watch the match against Link Joker, so where I play as Musketeers against Link Joker, and then the one after that, I play against Grand Blue. Both matches are epic. They're like literally super epic. I don't know how it turned out that way, but it just did. Yeah, I think the only... I'm trying to think, what else do I actually need? Oh, Miracle Pop Eva. That was the other card. I only have 3. So it's... And I feel like the Dreamy Fortress with Miracle Pop Eva and Lukie is, and Fire Juggler is still an insanely good Pale Moon deck. It is so good, because Dreamy Fortress is just straight up good. It's like an S tier card. So that Pale Moon deck with the Break Ride upgrade is super good. In fact, once Silverthorns gets nerfed for the CB2 cost, I think the Dreamy Fortress Pale Moon deck is going to be the better deck. It's super good, man. Like, seriously, I was playing this deck during the rental period. Where is it? Bellhop Asuka. This deck, I called it Nightmare Dolls because originally I was trying out Nightmare Doll Chelsea. But I think I don't have 4 of her. I think originally what I was doing was I think I was running, yeah, I only have 3. But during the rental period, I think this is the build that I went with, and I called it Nightmare Dolls. I kid you not, this deck is insanely good. Purple Trapezes, Fire Juggler, this starter, the best starter that Pale Moon has besides Ionella. Jumping Jill, Glenn, you know, all the combos. Fire Juggler with Purple Trapezes combos. Alice with Purple Trapezes combos. Dreamy Fortress in the Soul. Stack it up. Everyone loses. This deck just straight up owns everything in its path. 9 draw is the way to go. I don't know why this is a crit, but you guys get the idea. Anyway, I tried this deck out. Nightmare Doll Chelsea is disappointing, though, because it's Persona Blast. So, I swapped this out for Lukie. Just the original one. Now, you could even probably run this one, and it'll be just as good. But I found that the original Lukie is better with the Break Ride and with this build because she can call so many cards out all at once. She can combo with Purple Trapezes. Now, this is good too because you can combo it with Purple Trapezes, but you're locking rear guards, and I don't know. Like, I feel like you're going to want Fire Juggler behind the Vanguard for that big final turn 4 or 5 attack push. And if you're on Break Ride, that's 6 attacks, maybe even a 7th one if you get like a double trigger. Luque Reverse isn't really needed. Golden Beast Tamer will ever be relevant again? Probably not. I don't recall Golden Beast Tamer ever really doing anything post Limit Break. Yeah, you could, if you wanted to use Golden Beast Tamer, you could use it with Miracle Pop Eva. Basically, swap this for Golden Beast Tamer. You would need to have... You would have to run Nitro Juggler, and like you'd have to remove this. You'd need Nitro Juggler, and you would also need the Grade 1. You need to take this out, and you have to run. Where is it? What is it? Fire Juggler, Skull Juggler. You have to run those guys because you have to Soul Charge a lot more, but you're still going to use this. And you're still going to have the Dreamy Fortresses, and as long as you can Soul Blast 2, it'll still work, but it's obviously not going to be as good as Lukie or things that don't require paying a toll every time you want to do... I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, the Soul Blast 2... Okay, seriously, the only thing this card needs to make it be semi-decent again is the Restraint needs to only be a Vanguard effect. The Restraint being a Rearguard effect ruins this card. Because if you call this down as a Rearguard, it can't attack. And that's not good. You have to have a big soul. Basically, this would be a lot better in like a Dark Irregular or even a Genesis deck. Can you guys imagine if this was in Genesis? And you Soul Blast Chamomules and Melissa? That would be hilarious. Yeah, Exceed, okay, but the Grand Blue Exceed thing, that was like the only thing they had though, back then. Back then, I know what you're talking, I ran Exceed also, Spirit Exceed, I remember that deck. Basically, that was the Limit Break era Grand Blue, where you have Knight, you have this guy, you have Samurai, Spirit, you know, it was before this existed. I'm not gonna tear this whole deck apart, but I remember that deck. Spirit Exceed. No, this deck is good. You just have to know how to play it. This deck, man, Grand Blue Reverse is so good. This deck is almost just as annoying as fighting Neo Nectar because it has interceptors for days. Plus, it has Thanatos, so it can get extra attacks. This is basically your Nightmare Doll Alice or your Ermiel equivalent. Grand Blue, when built properly and played properly, it's really good. I just played against someone. The second match of the stream was me versus Grand Blue. I was playing Musketeers and my opponent was Grand Blue, Goki Reverse. Like he legit 6 damage healed against me, and then he proceeded to mill 2 heal triggers. His last 2 heals. In the current meta, Grand Blue does fine. It's not terrible. I think Grand Blue, this deck that I'm showing right now, is better than Dimension Please. It's more consistent to win with this deck than with Dimension Please. Dimension Please is way more high roll. The only thing high roll about this is when you do the lock effect and you mill 2 triggers. If you mill a bunch of triggers, like when my opponent did this effect, he milled 2 heal triggers when he did that. Now, he ended up calling one of them. It was Thanatos, and he got 5k power. But that's the only downside of playing this deck. It's the same as when you're playing Dark Irregulars or Genesis and you soul charge your heal triggers. Same thing. Well, that's because too many people play scrub decks. Scrub decks are Revengers, you know, Novell and The End and Dauntless. Although I haven't really encountered too many people playing that deck. I guess Eradicators is still considered a scrub deck. But I don't really see anybody playing Eradicators that much. I personally play Eradicators way more than I've seen people play Eradicators. Only because Vowing Saber is my hero. Vowing Saber Reverse is epic. This is my favorite build right now. Like, this is the only Eradicator deck that I care to play. I would play Sweep Command. I did play Sweep Command back in January when he was relevant. But Sweep Command does surprisingly well in this build, mainly because we run Suisei. Suisei is the secret sauce of this Eradicator deck. Suisei makes this thing go off, so then you have that critical pressure early. Then you cross break ride and blow up their field and still have critical. It's amazing. Because Suisei can kill off their grade 0s, unlike Saishin and Linchu. Yeah, it's mostly scrub. Yeah. Link Joker is definitely scrub deck. But the thing about Link Joker is Link Joker is not as easy to play as Revengers and Blau, and, you know, Revengers is too broken easy. Like, it's so stupid easy mode. Revengers right now, in my opinion, is almost as bad as MLB was back when MLB was new and relevant. Yeah, that I would agree with that statement. I feel like more people play Revengers in Global than actually in the JP server. I think in the JP server you see more variety, but I think JP you see more Blau, You see more Link Joker. You also tend to see more random, like, duos, Bermuda Triangle, or Minerva. Although, it remains to be seen if Global will see those decks once they release. But historically, these two are my favorite Eradicators. I don't like the other two. I wish I had 4 Descendant. If I had more Descendant, I would run Descendant. Definitely. It's a really good final turn card. But it's, you know, I only have one. For some reason, I only have one. And the strange thing is, in the physical card game, I only have one of this card. Like, this Triple R, the original print, I only have one of it. I have a lot of deck profiles, and I only ever had one of this card. Now, I do have 3 or 4 of the reprinted alternate art one that came out way later on during Stride format, along with his Grade 4 Stride, but I only ever had one of the original Set 10 Season 3 release Dragonic Descendant. So interesting trivia. Somehow I also only have one in Vanguard 0. That's very strange. Never pulled a second one. Never bothered to craft one either, because I was too busy crafting the Break Ride and then eventually crafting the reverse. Well, if they nerf him for JP, they're gonna nerf him for Global. It's only a matter of time. It's gonna happen. You know, the other thing too, I can tell if someone, I don't know, like, a lot of people that play Revengers play the Grade 3 Searcher, which I guess is okay, but I still think it's trash. I've seen so many people use the Grade 3 Searcher just to pull a heal trigger out of their deck, and I just kind of like smile when that happens. I still think Claudius is the best starter. Even though they nerfed him, he's still the best starter. As long as Mordred is free, no Counterblast 1, Tartus Counterblast 1, he's still worth running. He's a 5k booster. You can still rush. You can still push 2 damage easily because if you ride, say, Blaster Dark Revenger as your Vanguard, then you call... assuming Claudius is in the left or the right lane, he should not be in the Vanguard column. He should always be in the left or the right column in the back row. You can call down Masquerade, and that is a, you know, that is a proper column to swing into their 7k Vanguard, so you can push 2 damage easily that way. So that's the reason why I always run 5k boosters. I never run Grade 3 Searchers. I think Grade 3 Searchers are trash. They have always been trash. They're not as trash as they were in the real game, but they're still pretty much trash. Trust me, all you gotta do is mulligan and hope you have Mordred in your opening hand and you're set. Well, Claudius, I'm talking about the starter. Swordbreaker's not a starter. What I'm talking about is people running Dark Goat, Creeping Dark Goat as a starter. That I don't agree with. I mean, it's fine. People can do whatever they want. That doesn't mean that I agree with them. I don't think this is the best starter. I think Claudius is the best starter, and that's the reason why they nerfed him. And even with the nerf, he's still the best starter. But everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I have enough wins with Revengers to know that Claudius is fine the way it is. You know, I'm surprised. I would have expected more Liberators, to be honest, in Global. I don't know why people don't play Liberators that much. I've rarely ever encountered anybody playing Liberators. Now, I encountered a lot of them before February. Like, during January and December, and I guess they debuted in November. Yeah, the initial release, I saw people playing Liberators. But I never really saw anybody playing Garmor specifically. Because Garmor, we're about to get another support. We're about to get the 3rd wave of support for Liberators, because they have 4 waves of support. So we're about to get their 3rd wave. Ganslot Zenith is coming down from the clouds. And, yeah, hopefully we'll see some people playing Liberators. I know I expect to see people playing Ezel Scissors. Grand Ezel Scissors is probably going to be the more common Liberator deck, mainly because it slaps Link Joker in the face, and it's really good. But Ezel's always been pretty solid. But I don't know. I feel like Liberators is really good. It's kind of disappointing though that not a lot of people play them, because I feel like Garmor in particular is real good against a lot of decks. But you know, that might be the reason why we don't see them, because we don't see that many Eradicators. Or just Narukami in general. And we also don't see a lot of Kagero. I mean, Kagero's there, but we don't see that much of it anymore. It's strange. It's like for every Kagero player that used to play Kagero, they're currently playing Link Joker. And for every Narukami player, they're currently playing Revengers. Garmor is pretty decent against Revengers, though. Because he, you know, Blaster Dark can't do his thing. But Dorant can still unflip damage, so I don't know. I always like Garmor. Wolfang Liberator in particular. I do have an SP of this, the physical card. I remember pulling it on the unboxing video for Binding Force of the Black Rings. Looking for Raging Form Dragons. But Genesis is going to be my main deck next month for sure. Genesis 100%. I might still play a little bit of Musketeers here and there, but my main is going to be Genesis. We're going to be taking this. I'm going to be taking this clan to 100 wins, guaranteed, next month. So yeah, Fortuna is very, very scary to play. This deck is stressful to play, not because of your opponent. You honestly don't care what your opponent does when you play this deck. The Fortuna build, the one I'm referring to, the one I'm showing right now, because it's so... this deck is so stressful, because in the last 2 turns of the game, you pretty much almost deck yourself out every single time. How much would I sell my Musketeer deck? You mean the old one that's relevant from Break Ride, or do you mean the V series? Because I have 2. I don't know. I don't know how much I would sell it for. I personally keep all my cards as a collection, because I tend to collect my cards too. Like I don't really get rid of them once I complete the deck. I have no idea of knowing what it'd be worth. But I'll tell you, the V-Series Musketeers, the V-Series Cecilia was very hard to get a playset of. It took me a while to build that deck, because I didn't build the V-Series version of the deck until after it had already been out for several months. Now, the old school one, I've had those cards for years. So, I don't know. I feel like, are the old... I mean, I don't know what they currently go for. The old Cecilia, you know, the old 10k Cecilia, and the old Musketeer cards. You have the Korean Musketeer. Oh. Yeah, isn't the Korean version of the game the only one that's that also had like censorship? At least in the very beginning of Vanguard. I remember there were certain cards that had different artwork in the Korean version of the game that weren't in the English one or the Japanese one. Oh wow, yeah, that's annoying. This is the deck though. This is gonna be my main. So for those who followed my channel over the years and saw my deck profile, so my main decks during this time of the game, around Catastrophic Outbreak, my main deck, number one main deck was probably Chaos Breaker Dragon. I know, it sounds scrub, but it was the physical card game. Chaos Breaker Dragon was just, it was so fun. It was so fun, but it was also very slow, and the games, like, were very grindy and, you know, just kind of slow. But it was fun, though. Yeah, Chaos Breaker was my main. My other one was Tetra Drive. This was the other main deck that I played back in the day. During Catastrophic Outbreak. Those are the two big ones. Beast Deity actually was a Catastrophic Outbreak deck back then. So Deadliest Beast Deity and the Extreme were both released in Catastrophic Outbreak. However, for me, I never completed the deck. I only had 2 Deadliest Beast Deities, and I think I had 2 Extremes. So I ran both in the same deck. I ran 4 Break Ride and 2 Deadliest and 2 Extreme. And you know, typically 8 grade 3s are your standard grade 3 lineup. So I was able to run the deck, but it was both in the same deck. But Catastrophic Outbreak, those were my main. I did also play Captain Night Mist, or I mean 7 Seas Night Mist. Grand Blue, Cocytus Reverse, I think I had like 2 copies of it back in the day, and I know I had 3 Break Ride, and I can't remember what my... I guess I ran regular Cocytus as the other grade 3. But it was definitely not this. Like, no one ran Captain Night Mist. I think I ran the 12k Zombie Dragon thing. Where is it? Yeah, this guy. Corrupt Dragon. And I think I had like 3 Ruin Shades. I think I ran 3 Ruin Shades back then. But those were the decks that I played. I did not play Leopold Reverse. I didn't have the cards. I never pulled... I think I pulled like 1 and like 2 Chat Noir, but I never was able to build the deck. So I never got to play that. That's why I'm not familiar with Great Nature during Break Ride format. I played against them a couple times, but I never had a lot of on-hands experience with the deck. So, of course, I had Revengers from Binding Force. That was one of my favorite decks, but during Catastrophic, I wanted to play the newer stuff, like Tetra Drive and Chaos Breaker, so I didn't really play Revengers during the Catastrophic Outbreak era. But we're about to go to Brilliant Strike, and Brilliant Strike is going to introduce some of the most memorable cards. There are cards that are coming out next month that, back in the day, those cards were relevant for an extremely long time. There's a Liberator called Zoran. It actually works with the Legion formation, the Bluish Flames. So Ganslot Zenith doesn't really stay relevant in the future, but Ezel Scissors kind of does. Minerva is relevant for a long time, because people tend to run her with CEO Yggdrasil in Legion. And then Ashley Reverse. Ashley Reverse stays relevant for an extremely long time. Especially because Jewel Knights gets a stride unit called Evangeline later on, which revives the deck and makes Ashley Reverse relevant again, or at least partially. So Jewel Knights is definitely a good investment. I want to play Jewel Knights again. I like Jewel Knights. I played Jewel Knights a ton back in December and I guess January, but then I kind of dropped them for Seal Dragons and Revengers. Seal Dragons, They don't really get any support. I think they get a unit that is anti-Link Joker. They get some kind of promo grade 3 that can unlock a rear. You counterblast 1 to unlock a locked unit or a locked rear guard. So that's probably worth running. You know, I'd probably swap out Dauntless, my 1 Dauntless, for one of those. We'll see. Jewel Knights are really good. Jewel Knights are kind of, I mean, I don't know, it's interesting. Like, I played them a lot. Like, they were my main deck back in December. That much I know. Now, I remember playing against them on ranked quite a bit. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know what caused Jewel Knights to disappear. Because you don't typically see anyone playing them right now. Which is odd, because they're still a very solid deck. Ganslot as a heal is still busted. Blaster Blade still, with Ganslot, that combo is still busted combo. They have the ability to Superior Call so many Jewel Knights. Tilda, Superior Call Jewel Knight. Prismy, Ditch and Draw. Break Ride, Superior Calling Jewel Knights. The fact that they Superior Call Jewel Knights means you can run 4 critical triggers, and it works. You could run 9 Draw. 9 Draw is fine. Either build is just as good. Crits can potentially win you a game faster if you high roll, and even if you go, and you're not really losing a whole lot by running the 4 crits, because you have so many ways to deck thin. And because you have Ganslot searching you a grade 2 Interceptor that can blow up an opponent's Interceptor. You know what I mean? Like, it's so good that why not run 4 crits? But I guess Link Joker. Yeah, but don't they do that to everybody though? So that's why, I mean, they just do that to everybody. They do that to Blau, they do that to, you know, whoever they're playing against. That's why I don't really, I don't know. I guess people just kind of got tired of playing as Jewel Knights. That's probably the only reason why I stopped playing as them. Also, I don't know why people don't play Seal Dragons. There were a lot of people playing Seal Dragons when they were new, back in January. Seal Dragons Unleashed. Seal Dragons, in my opinion, is still really, really good. Like, the opponent will never have grade 1s. And they'll be running low on Interceptors by the time it's endgame. You deplete a lot of their resources. It basically you burn them away. Using dragons that use magic. Yeah, that's about to change. Miranda's coming in the game. She's gonna show up. Make all these Jewel Knights line up. In fact, I don't know if Ganslot really is needed in the new Jewel Knight deck. I feel, honestly, the easiest thing to do when Ashley Reverse comes out is make Salome the heal trigger, get rid of Ganslot, and bring in Ashley Reverse. Make Ashley Reverse be the critical trigger, and replace Blaster Blade for Miranda's, and call it a day. I think that's all you gotta do. I guess you could keep them, but the thing is, if you keep... The reason why I feel like they're probably not needed is because Ashley Reverse already blows up an opponent's rearguard just like Blaster Blade, and she Superior Calls a Jewel Knight. So she literally pluses 2 in advantage. That's a +2 in advantage every time you use that effect. And if you cross break ride her, that's like a +3 in advantage. Like, that's really good. Ashley Reverse is probably gonna be probably the best reverse unit next month. I think Blaster Blade and Ganslot finally have a legitimate excuse to not be in a Royal Paladin deck anymore. Because Miranda's really good too. Miranda and Ashley Reverse. Just those two cards are really all they need. They get some other support cards, I'm sure. But I don't know if they're really needed. And if you miss your break ride, you just call down the self-damagers who just so happen to be Jewel Knights, and then you do Ashley Reverse's skill and blow up their stuff for Counterblast 1 and call some stuff out. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Is that that must be a buff. I don't remember that effect. If reducing the number of Jewel Knight required, that's a new skill. Yeah, I haven't looked into Ashley Reverse on the JP servers. I had no idea. That's good though. Yeah, I think we're gonna see them. But there's also gonna be the Sanctuary of Light ride chain, which I have a feeling is going to be really good. I don't know if a lot of people are gonna build it though, but I think that it's also gonna be a pretty solid deck. So Royal Paladin is a really good clan to invest in next month, if you're a Royal Paladin main. I personally am not a Royal Paladin main, but I do want to play the deck. At least during the rental week, I will be playing Jewel Knights. Guaranteed. I don't know, I'll try to do a random stream like this during the rental period so I can show you guys, so I can test out the decks that I can't necessarily complete. Just so I can show you guys like how I would play those decks, but yeah. But Korin Reverse is coming to the game. It's only a matter of time now. Miwa Reverse is coming too. Anybody gonna be playing Dauntless Dominant Reverse? I'm actually pretty hyped for Dauntless Dominant Reverse. I'm probably a little bit more hyped for that deck than Ashley Reverse. Just because I know Ashley Reverse will be relevant longer. So I know that Dauntless Reverse will kind of fall off after next month. Or at least once the Rebirth shows up. So it's one of those decks where I'm hyped for it because I know that that'll be its special moment in the spotlight, where it's actually one of the best decks to play at that time. Yeah. D. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's another Jewel Knight. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Ashley Reverse is so good that she can just solo the whole... She can basically carry the entire deck to victory. You'll see what I mean. You'll see. But yeah. So Miwa's going reverse. Seal Dragons is going to go on the bench warmer. And we're going to get a whole new deck here. The Dauntless deck. Complete with the 12k, his own 10... I think he has his own 10k also. His 10k grade 1. This is one of the most... I don't know. This break ride is one of the most iconic break rides in the game. Like, if you think... this along with Mordred Phantom are probably the two most memorable break rides. When I say break rides, I mean the actual break ride card, not the main Vanguard that cross rides on top of this. Like Morikawa using this with the N, you know, Miwa using this, trying to stop Kai and then failing and then getting reversed, and then ultimately Dauntless Dominant Reverse showing up. So this is pretty epic. Probably one of the best matches. Beside my favorite match in season 3 was Ren vs Kai, the run back for Kai. When Kai Reverse versus Ren was, for me, the most epic card fight in all of season 3. But I do also really like Miwa Reverse versus Misaki. Genesis Regalia's debut versus Dauntless Dominant Reverse. Now that was also a pretty epic match. Yeah, it is. Dauntless Reverse. This is probably my second most hyped deck. This one And obviously, Regalia is my number 1. So I want to play those two the most, just because that matchup between those two in the anime was probably one of my favorite card fights in that whole anime in season 3 of Vanguard, OG Vanguard. So top priority, get the Minervas, get the Angelicas, get whatever random grade 2s and grade 1s are needed, and that's basically it. Second priority, get Dauntless Dominant Reverse. I think the rest of the deck are just double Rs. I hope there's no other random triple R that's required. But I just need 4 Dauntless Dominant Reverse, and I guess I'm good. And then I got both my decks. And then the third one is Jewel Knights. Oh, look at that. All 3 of them are conveniently right next to each other. These 3 right here. Genesis, Royal Paladin. Well, I'm just going to call it... I'm going to change the name eventually, but once I build the deck. Regalia, Jewel Knights, and Dauntless. And I need these 2 to get those reverse skins. I need reverse Korin, I need reverse Miwa. Those are the 3. Those are the 3 big ones. Ganslot Zenith, if I get him, I'll throw him in. He's cool. But I don't intend to like do a whole lot with Liberators. I'll play the deck like in the first 5 days of the season. And then what else is? Oh yeah, Tempest Bolt. Tempest Bolt's coming in along with that Break Ride that I can never remember the name of because no one ever really used it. It was Twin Ignition something. It had like chainsaws and it retired like 2 rear guards instead of 1 rear guard. But honestly, Vowing Sword Reverse or Vowing Sword Dragon is good enough. Like if you don't have that new Break Ride, you don't really need it. You can just run Tempest Bolt with this guy, and it won't be as powerful, but it'll still be good enough. So, Eradicators tries to make a comeback. I don't know if we'll see anybody playing Eradicators. Tempest Bolt is kind of a meme type of interesting card because if no one has any rear guards on the field, he's really powerful, and if the opponent pushes out, they overextend, you can punish them by nuking the board. The idea is he's anti-Link Joker because if your Link Joker opponent locks your stuff, you just use Tempest Bolt to blow up all their rear guards and all your rear guards stay alive because they're locked. So, I don't know. I don't expect to see Tempest Bolt that much, to be honest. I don't think it's going to change too much. I even don't think we're going to see that many people playing Genesis either. I feel like I'm going to be one of the few people playing Genesis, like legit climbing with Genesis the whole way. Even though I feel like Minerva as a restanding Vanguard and a cross Break Ride is really good. Dauntless Reverse is... Okay, Liberators with Zenith is tier 1, tier 0, so you might play more. Really? Interesting. I would not expect it to be that good. Well, it is a cross Break Ride with the original Ganslot, so I can see that being a thing. I hope we get Minerva sleeves next season. If not next season, then the one at the second half of the month. Or Angelica sleeves. I will have to do a hype stream with the camera for the Genesis because I do have the Minerva statue, for those wondering. I think I mentioned it in my deck profile video a long time ago. Or I think one of my Minerva deck profiles has a thumbnail of the Minerva statue, the anime statue, or what is it, an anime figure? I do have that Minerva statue. So I will have to showcase that on stream during the climb to Legend 10 with the Genesis deck. CB1 retire. What? You can abuse him to get Blaster Blade Liberator. Okay, well, if that's the case, then yeah. But the thing is, they're not getting Balin next month, or are they? Because if I recall, Balin, unless they moved his release up, but Balin, the Unflip 1, Countercharge 1 guy, the Liberator and the Grade 1 Liberator that does that, if I recall, he's supposed to come out with Monarch Alfred. But if they moved him up, I'm checking the VG Meta website right now just to make sure when Balin comes out. Oh, they moved him up. So White Rainbow Liberator Balin is coming out next month. That is huge. That is a massive buff to Gold Paladin. Okay, that card alone is gonna move Liberators up an entire tier. Because they're basically gaining the Dorient skill. Oh, and they reworked it. It has to be in the same column. The real card says it doesn't have to be in the same column. So it was actually a little bit better than Dorient. Okay, so it's literally just a Dorient clone now. But it's released in Brilliant Strike instead of Infinite Rebirth. That's cool. Okay, that's really good to know. So I'm thinking for Genesis, Metis is going to be replaced by Angelica. And then Fortuna is probably going to become the heal trigger. Although yeah, maybe. I don't know. Because this thing requires Soul Blast 9, which is it's too hard. It's too resource intensive. Now, realistically, Yada, the original release for Yada was during Brilliant Strike, so I might keep Yada as my heal. And then the only thing I'll change is drop Fortuna for Minerva and drop Metis, which actually was released in Brilliant Strike, but they moved her up to help Fortuna out, which is interesting. I'm glad they did that. So this is gonna become Angelica. And I don't know, I feel like it's still gonna run at least 4 or 5 critical triggers, because if you try to run Fortuna, the current Genesis deck, if you run more than... If you, like, even with this build, people are probably looking at this like, there's way too many crits. The problem is, if you run, even with 8 crit, 1 draw, I almost always deck out. In fact, I still can deck out with this deck, as is, with the 8 crits. That's how fast this deck just burns through the cards. So, you gotta run crits. Like, there is not a whole lot of other choices. Stands don't have any purpose in this deck because Chamomeals and Melissas are your extra attackers, so you don't really need stands. Stands are useless in here. So you might as well go crit. It's gonna get even better because Minerva's a restanding Vanguard. So it essentially turns into a Spectral Duke Dragon type of deck, which that deck already was a high crit deck to begin with, just because of the restand play. So it's basically going to be like another... I'm just going to run it kind of like Spectral Duke. The difference is this deck has like no draw power, except for Dendray, and that one random draw trigger. Whereas Genesis, well, I'm running Callaway just because I don't have draw triggers, so I can control if I need to draw. But realistically, next month I'm probably not going to run these at all, because the Break Ride lets you draw cards. Yeah, but that's a Gold Paladin Season 2 deck. This is a Gold Paladin Season 2 deck, that's the reason why. I'm not going to run Mordred in a Gold Paladin deck. I originally built Shadow Duke, but once they made this Season 2 skin available for Gold Paladin, I immediately deleted the Shadow Duke and built the true OG Gold Paladin Spectral Duke. And it's pretty fun. In fact, this could be Ezel instead of this. I just threw this in here just because it's, you know, whatever. It's a break ride. It's a fun Season 2 deck. I'm surprised we don't see anyone playing Nubatama anymore. Nubatama was another deck that was really good, like a month ago when they were when the event was completed. I played as them a couple times. They were really, really good. Tamahagane is MVP. Oh my gosh, this card, this and Dreadmaster, and to a lesser degree Voidmaster are MVP at disrupting the hand. And Kuroko with that Soul Blast 2, get rid of those bind cards. Yeah, but the point is not to run. What I'm saying is, this is a gold palette. This is basically a nostalgic Season 2 based Spectral Duke deck, gold palette. I'm not gonna put Mordred in it. I know what you're saying. I could do it. I'm not gonna do it because it's my gold palette and Spectral Duke deck. If they snipe the starter. Who snipes the starter, though? Who can snipe the starter? I know a deck that I have that can. It's called My Hero. Okay, Revengers can. That's true. But this guy, Soisei, the hero. Soisei and Sweep Command and Vowing Saber Reverse. These are the ways that I retire my opponent's starter in an era where Lynchu has been nerfed. But yeah, okay, Liberators and Revengers can retire to starter. But even if this goes, it's not the end of the world. You still have Tamahagane. And that's all you really need. Tamahagane, all those, discard those cards from that hand, you know. Yeah. Nubatama is real good. Like, seriously guys, these limited clans, Nubatama, Neo Nectar, these are really good decks. Like, even Goki Reverse is good. Spike Brothers are still good. We don't see anybody playing them anymore, which is interesting. They're still really good though. There's nothing wrong with them. Berserk Dragon. Yeah, you know how many times I've seen a Kagero player call down Berserk Dragon and then it says thinking and then they just skip the effect, they just cancel it? Because they want to use like Conroe and they want to use the end in his restand. And no one's playing Seal Dragons anymore. I rarely ever see anybody, at least in the matchups where I'm going up against someone using Kagero, I rarely ever see anybody use Berserk Dragon, even though if I'm playing them, I still use Berserk Dragon. Berserk Dragon. Gwyn the Ripper. Reggie. Gwyn the Ripper. If you're playing Reggie, you gotta run those 4 Gwyns. Gwyn is a game-winning card. Oh my gosh, this card's good. I mean, so is Berserk, but you get what I'm saying. Like, with this thing, with the lethal Reggie, that's even more lethal than the Kagero stuff. I'm surprised. I guess the most disappointing one is Prisms. That's the one that I don't know. I feel like in JP more people play Bermuda than in Global. I'm not sure exactly why, but I guess I assume that people think Bermuda's bad when reality is they're not bad. It's probably people that just don't know how to use them. Prisms are good. Pacifica is still probably better though. Pacifica's probably better in general, just because I don't know. You can run the Karen, the Apprentice Idols, and the Dreaming Idol, and they work in here better. The Pearl Sisters work in here. I mean, you have access to so many good draw engines in the Pacifica build that's probably the reason why this one's better than the Prism one. The Prism one is kind of like you run a bunch of draw triggers. You know, it's like a standard deck. You try to do Labrador's Limit Break on the Break Ride skill to open up the field to get extra attacks, and it could also work kind of like Pacifica, but I don't know. It's and I don't think Prisms get a lot of support. I think they get like a couple of cards during the duos, divas duet, or whatever that's called. I know Jonathan knows exactly what's going on. Don't be telling my secrets. Don't be telling my secrets. My Ramul Reverse is like one of the best decks right now. This deck is legit good. This is one of the best decks in the game right now. You just have to know how to play it. But the same can be said of any deck. But this deck is legit very good. I don't think I've ever lost to Link Joker with this deck. Even though it sounds really weird, because I'll use her effect to lock 2 rearguards while I still have a locked unit. But it's because I can snipe the Palladiums. I always snipe the Palladiums. Snipe the Palladiums. Link Joker has to counterblast too much. They're not able to really do a whole lot against this deck. This deck is this is just straight up free. Lock 2, blow something up. The thing is, it doesn't even retire. So if you're up against Great Nature, like, you can select the Sea Otter and get rid of it. It's hilarious. Well, it's random, but if it's like, if it gets the Sea Otter, it gets the Sea Otter, and the Sea Otter is gone. Then their 11k beat stick doesn't have a retire sync. Yeah, they can't, but they don't really... The thing is, they don't really need to. The thing is, this deck is a slow burn. It destroys the opponent's back row. It sustains itself with a bunch of PGs in the hand. You get ample interceptors because of Danielle Superior Calling for free from the damage zone. So it has a lot of survivability. Its offense is not as strong, but its defense and survivability is very high. Very high. I mean, 5 heal triggers. 5 heal triggers. The ability to grab PGs out of your damage zone with Nariel and No Seal. And the Break Ride skill. 5 heals, people. Come on now. I have 6 damage shield. This is the deck that I always 6 damage heal with. I've even double 6 damage shield against a Descended player one time. It wasn't with this deck though. It was before Ramiel Reverse. It was like back in the, it was the Zerakiel build with the 4 Ermiels. But you can, so if you run Ermiel, you can do, like, if you run a bunch of these, you can do 4 attacks. Like, the previous build with Zerakiel does a lot of attacks. But the reason why you don't run her is obviously you have to lock Celestials, and then that hurts the consistency of the deck. If I was going to make one change to this deck, I would drop my 10k for a Grade 2 No Seal. But so far, I haven't really had too many issues with needing to grab a PG from the damage when I absolutely need one. What I really wish they would do for this game is when you heal damage, you should be able to manually choose the card you want to remove from your damage zone. It should not be an automatic random thing. Too many things in this game are automated, and it really hurts this game's competitive playability. Seriously, like, real talk. There's way too much automation in this game. Like the randomly targeting a back row, randomly healing a damage. I mean, that's a thing that needs to be fixed. they have selective soul charging or selective soul blasting now, they need to have selective healing from the damage. No more of this random, like... Can you guys imagine if they keep this random automated heal system all the way into Stride? Can you imagine how bad that hurts the Gavril deck? The Stride deck? If we could select our heal target, this deck would be in a whole nother tier bracket. This deck is so good against Link Joker. It's weird because you would think that Link Joker... Because the funny thing is, I already gave you guys a good example. My opponent heal triggered on me when they attacked me. That causes Ramiel to gain 5k power as well, so they still can't hit her. And then the guy proceeds to rage quit the match. Because his CBD is only 16k to my 18k. And he didn't even realize that she had that skill. Or I guess he didn't know that it worked when he healed. He thought it worked when I healed, but it works when he heals too. OTT doesn't have the... What is this about OTT? OTT doesn't have the defensive power the Angel do, so it makes the fit deal more OP with Angel. Well, OTT, I mean... OTT doesn't have as much survivability as this deck. This deck has Angel Feather, you know, they can heal, they can swap. Basically, you have two hands. You have a private hand, which is the cards in your hand, and you have a public hand, which is your damage zone that the opponent has visibility to. I always think of this deck as a deck that plays with two hands. The damage is a hand, and your hand is the primary hand. And you can swap between your damage hand and your real hand, so that makes cards like this a top priority. You have to have 4 Nariels. You have to have, like, I guess, for consistency reasons, we don't run too many no-seals, but, you know, I run the one no-seal. It has helped me a lot. I've grabbed a PG with it countless times. In fact, it's so important that I kind of want to run the grade 2 one. The only reason why I'm not doing it is because of consistency issues with Ramiel. Reverses, she can only power up front row Celestials, so no-seal wouldn't be able to hit anything. And I already have 4 8k grade 2s, which I think is kind of the max I would do on this deck. Yeah, no, dude, I totally get what you're saying. The healing and dealing is... That's what this deck does. It's its specialty. This is a super good deck. Like, this is the only deck that I really played until I completed Musketeers this season. I wanted to play Link Joker more. I actually rarely ever used my Link Joker deck this month. The Chaos Breaker variant. I've used the old one, Ride Chain with Nebula, a lot. Up until this month, but then I just kind of never really bothered with the deck. It's interesting. I have the whole deck done, and I never really bothered to use it. I would rather play... Like, at the beginning of the month, I was playing the rental stuff, so basically Blau and everything. Then once that was over, then I started playing... I tried Tetra Drive a bit, and it was very underwhelming. So then I switched to... What else? What else was new that was down here? Really nothing. I just went back to Ramiel Reverse and just played that the whole time. I played a couple of games of CBD, but then it was like, it's CBD. It does what it does. It's very scrub. I'm not gonna play that. So then I went back to this. Oh, you're talking about on the JP server? You're talking about Balin? Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of Liberators. Global's probably going to be different than JP. I have a feeling we're going to see Ezel Scissors a lot. I'm expecting to see Ezel Scissors. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that have a fully functional Ezel deck that they're just kind of sitting on. But they may not necessarily have a bunch of Liberators they can put together with Ganslot Zenith. to make a Liberator deck. So I feel like Ezel is going to be the one that we see more in Global. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I feel like Liberators is one of those decks where you kind of needed to accumulate a bunch of cards from the last, you know, like Binding Force of the Black Rings, Triumphant Return of the King of Knights. You had to get a bunch of those cards. You need Fallon, you need Bruno, you need Blaster Blade, you might need this guy or Josephus. You need the Break Ride. You don't necessarily need Garmor, so I guess he's optional. You don't even really need Alfred, although he's a good backup still. So it's one of those decks where, like, I personally, for Ganslot Zenith, probably gonna drop this because it's supposed to be a Garmor thing, and I'm probably gonna run S-Crad because I got 3 S-Crad. Gonna put him in, and I don't know what the new starter does. I forgot. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna be using this guy again. Maybe this guy because it's focused on spamming Blaster Blade Liberator. So maybe that's what I would do. It's a hard deck to build. Hey Jonathan, yeah, thanks for stopping by. You made some pretty good points on a lot of things, actually. But anyway, guys, I think that this is a pretty good discussion. It was kind of a random stream that I threw together just because I needed to finish off the event, the anniversary event, and I do have the 50 medals. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and get, well, let's see. How many people do we have in chat? We don't have a lot of people live in chat right now. But we can choose between Miracle Pop Eva or Leopold Reverse. So in the chat, vote which card you want me to exchange for. Miracle Pop Eva or Leopold Reverse. Those are the 2 choices. Because those are the only 2 that I really need. I'll craft the last Amon Reverse on Thursday. I only need to get those 10 crystals. But those are the 2 up for selection here. Miracle Pop Eva for Pale Moon, so I can play that Broken Dream Fortress deck at 100%. Or Leopold Reverse. So I think that's the only reverse unit besides Amon Reverse that I still need a 4th copy. So again, it's gonna be either this, which I think this will be. I have a lot more pieces for Great Nature, so if I were to craft Leopold Reverse, it's just a matter of crafting him. It'll take time, but the Miracle Pop Eva, they're about the same in terms of how much crafting material I have to accumulate. The only difference is I have far less pieces for Pale Moon than I do Great Nature, because I have crafted a lot of Pale Moon cards over the months. Including, I think, 1 or 2 Miracle Pop Evas. I myself am leaning toward Leopold Reverse, mainly because I want to play Great Nature more. I've already played a lot with Pale Moon. I've played a lot of games with Pale Moon. I think Pale Moon has my highest win record. 2nd Shadow Paladin. Great Nature, I think I'm like sub 50 wins. Gonna play Silverthorn. I don't think that deck needs Break Ride. I don't run it in the Break Ride. I don't run Silverthorns with Eva. I'm talking about a different Pale Moon deck, so I'll show you the deck. Just to clarify. No, it's not for Silverthorns. It's for a different deck. So here's my Silverthorn deck. I don't know why it says Pale Moon. I thought I renamed it. Yeah, but notice I don't really rely on it. It's just kind of there to fill a spot. But that's not the purpose of it. Or it doesn't really have a purpose there. This is the one I'm talking about. So this deck is the one that benefits a lot from the Break Ride. And the Dreamy Fortress, the Purple Trapeze is basically my Season 2 based Silverthorn deck, which is very good. In fact, I might actually drop these 10Ks for 2 Nitro Jugglers. Just because I feel like, the Nitro Jugglers get me more soul. And we don't have a lot of ways to soul charge in here. So yeah, I think I'm going to put those Nitro Jugglers back in. And there we go. Yeah, but this is the deck that I would put the 4th Miracle Pop Eva in. So either complete this, which I already have a ton of Winds of Pale Moon, or the alternative is this. This is the deck that I have built for Great Nature. And this deck, I played it during the rental period. I had to rent like 3 Leopold Reverse and 1 Break Ride or something back then. Or maybe it was just 3 Leopold Reverse. But this deck is really, really fun. Those Sea Otters. Narukami can't get rid of them. Kagero just waves at them and can't really do a whole lot more. They just kind of sit there. Ramio Reverse can get rid of them. Living Joker can lock them. But that's pretty much all they can do to those Sea Otters. Sea Otters are pretty good. It's a really good sync for this 11K beat stick. Pale Moon is probably stronger. Yeah, well, I think Pale Moon has more survivability. It's definitely harder to beat a Pale Moon, especially because of Dreamy Fortress. Mainly because of Dreamy Fortress, because all that defensive calling, and then Lukie or Lukie Reverse will be powering up every time one of them gets called out from the soul. So yeah, that one's probably the better deck. I have a lot of experience playing that deck. I don't have a whole lot of experience playing this deck. So, I don't know. I'm kind of on a mission to complete the reverse units. So, I guess, so are you voting for Miracle Pop Eva? Or are you voting for Leopold Reverse? I think you're the only one that's still in the chat, or at least the only person that's been chatting. I mean, there's... It says we got like 4 concurrent viewers, but I guess the others are just lurkers. I personally am leaning toward Leopold Reverse. I'm on a mission to complete the reverse units. I want playsets of all the reverse units. Hopefully I'll be able to play Glendios when it comes out. But I don't know. I mean, let me see. How let's look and see how many materials would I have to save up for this, because I bet it's gonna be a lot. Okay, so 130 orbs and like 92. Okay, that's no orb count's not too bad. Let's look at Miracle Pop Eva. Okay, so we're further along. You can trade a normal unit for a reverse unit? Really? Wait, what? So you can trade a normal triple R for a reverse unit? I might get Miracle Pop Eva. Mainly because if you look at my piece count, I only have 809 pieces. So if I craft her, I'll only have like 409 pieces left. And I do want to save up for Venus Lukie. Oh. Oh, but then you would lose the normal one. Like, if you had 4 Dayusha and you give 1 away for the reverse Dayusha, then you only have, like, 3 of the Dayusha then. See, I don't know if that's really that good. I don't know. I'm thinking I might actually take the Miracle Pop Eva now because I can craft Leopold reverse. Oh, when Glendios is reversed? Or okay. Because look at my piece count. I got 2,100 pieces for Great Nature. So if I craft him, and I know Pale Moon's getting support in the future. Well, but see, that means that if I open packs for Venus Luquier, I'll Oh, this is a tough choice. Eva's further along. It's like 86 orbs as opposed to 70 on Leopold. You know, I think I'm gonna take Leopold reverse, just because I'm just gonna farm up more materials for Pale Moon. And if I get him now, I don't have to wait. I won't have to farm Great Nature materials for a long time. You know, like they're not gonna get any support for the next like 3 months or so. So I might take Leopold reverse. Wait, any normal unit for its reverse counterpart and unreverse later on. Is that like a special event? Because I'm not familiar with that event. Yes, a trade event. So you trade a normal unit for a reverse unit. How do you unreverse? But then, so do you have to trade your reverse unit to get the unreversed unit back? I'll probably just take the Leopold reverse now, and that way I don't have to. That way I don't have to character fight Chris anymore. Yes, trade but only once. I don't know. I think I won't need to do that. If I'm going to do that, realistically, I'll probably do that for Ashley reverse or Dauntless Dominant reverse. Basically, one of the newer reverse units, like Glory Maelstrom reverse. Okay. Well, it seems like I'm seeing 2 votes for Miracle Pop Eva and 0 votes for Leopold reverse. So in that case, I'm probably gonna go with Miracle Pop Eva. They have 2 separate events. Okay, I mean, you guys make it sound convincing. I'll just take Miracle Pop Eva, and I'll just work on crafting this then. It doesn't really hurt because the thing is, I have 2,100 pieces. So if I craft this, or get it from that event that you guys are talking about, you may not need Eva. Well, the thing is, here, let me show you though. The thing is, we're talking about completing this deck. This deck runs the Break Ride. I'm not talking about Silver Thorns. We're talking about Dreamy Fortress and Purple Trapezes and Fire Juggler. Basically, the Season 2 Pale Moon, the generic Pale Moon deck. This deck, I played this deck during the rental period, and it is so good. Dreamy Fortress is still very good and extremely relevant in this game. So is Purple Trapezes and Fire Juggler. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll get Eva from the event, from the anniversary, because it allows me to save the materials for Venus Luque. Because look at this. I've been saying this earlier. I've been saying it multiple times now. But look, I only have 800 pieces. Look at Great Nature. I have 2,100 pieces. So that'll allow me, by taking this as the reward, I'll get to save those 800 pieces for Venus Luquier. So I think I'm going to take the Miracle Eva. It sounds like the chat is saying to go with Miracle Pop Eva. Because honestly, this deck is more fun than Silver Thorns. I played both decks. This deck, I got like 200 plus wins with this deck. This particular one, back when Luquier was new, when Dreamy Fortress was new, Fire Juggler for the win, 4th, 5th attack, whatever, Nightmare Doll Alice for days. It was so good. Silver Thorns is good, but very, very counterblast heavy, and they're probably going to get nerfed because of the whole Counterblast 2 thing, which I don't know if it's really necessary. You don't really see a lot of people playing Pale Moon. Occasionally you come across them, but it's not very common. Great Nature's also definitely not common, probably even less common than Pale Moon. But I'm going to go ahead and take Eva just because of the resource difference. I'll get to save 800 orbs. I have like 2100 Great Nature stuff, so yeah, I'll take this one. What happened to Great Nature? Polaris is a good card. Yeah, Great Nature, nothing happened to Great Nature. That's what I'm saying. The whole debate is, do we take Eva or do we take Leopold Reverse? Those are the only two missing cards that I need to complete those decks. So, but I think I'm going to take Eva, mainly because of the resource thing. And I'll craft Leopold Reverse. It'll take a little bit longer because I'm further along with Eva. But that means I get to save all those materials for Venus Luquier. And Great Nature's not getting any more support, so I can just slowly work on crafting the last card. So, yeah. Alright guys, well that's going to be it. So let's go ahead and get that Miracle of Eva. I mean, I'm going to craft Amon Reverse on Thursday, so he was the third choice. But, I mean, I'm at 90 crystals. So I'm going to craft him Thursday. To see if necessary to nerf Siltor. Oh, okay, well, whatever. I don't really follow JP too much. Those are my 3 decks that I need to complete, though. Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be fine. Once per turn is good enough of a nerf. I personally don't even know if the nerf is necessary, although I haven't played the new one because I don't play on the JP server, so I don't really know how much Zelma makes that deck good. I assume Zelma makes that deck more aggro heavy because, I mean, I play Purple Trapezes in this deck, and this deck is already extremely aggro heavy in the late game. And if you check a trigger, Fire Juggler goes off, and you know that's another attack that they have to deal with. So this deck is really good. Alright, we're going to take Eva. Gonna get Eva, and then we're going to work on crafting Leopold Reverse and Amon Reverse. Alright, it has been decided. The chat has decided. We have voted for Miracle Pop Eva. Gold Pound Moon, maybe Kagero Tier 1. See, I have no idea. I don't keep up with the JP server, so I wouldn't really know. Alright, there it is. We have... Currently we have 3 and no SP. So we will take this. There we go. And we're done. Now the game is going to freeze for 10 seconds. Because I don't know why, but it does. More than Venus, Zelma makes the deck broken. Zelma is basically Purple Trapezes, and Purple Trapezes, I already know, made the Dreamy Fortress deck extremely good, so... Yeah, I can't wait. That's probably the reason why I haven't really played Silverthorns that much. Honestly, I played Silverthorns a little bit, but not nearly as much as the Dreamy Fortress deck that I built back in August of last year. I played the Dreamy Fortress deck all the way from August to December. Once Break Ride's season started, oh no, November. So from August to November, I played mainly Pale Moon and Spectral Duke. Those are like the 2 decks that I played all the way through. And I guess Aqua Force was like the other deck. It was kind of the new deck at the time. Or the new clan. Alright, so we're gonna probably throw all of this into Jewel Knight material. The alternative is duos, but they're like a whole nother month off, so we're gonna go all in on Jewel Knight material. Alright, we're getting there. Oh, we still need like a good 18 more. I need to get this number up to at least 300. Probably not going to make it in time. What is this? 0 player survey? We're interested in what you say about the game. I'll probably do this on my phone later. Receive a bonus gotcha ticket. Okay. Alright, so they're doing a survey, guys. On Global. Double VP starting tomorrow evening. Triple R gotcha. If you guys want to whale on the game, now's the time to do it. If you're gonna try hard on Brilliant Strike packs, I recommend the Triple R gotcha. It can help you if you have an unlucky day and you pull like a bunch of blue circles. Because I have shown on stream, like for instance, last month, or I guess this month, when I opened Catastrophic Outbreak, my pulls were pretty much kind of mediocre. I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you get like triple R's all the time, and you get lightning bolts, sparks going off all the time. I'd say my pulls are probably like a 3 out of 10 on Catastrophic Outbreak, or maybe a 4. All I know is it took a lot of packs. I think I opened like 280 plus, maybe 300 packs. And still had to craft a bunch of cards and use the anniversary system to complete a lot of different things. So, and I did not do the bonus Triple R gotcha from the previous set. So, if you plan to whale hard on Brilliant Strike, if you want those Minerva waifus, if you want those Angelicas, if you want Dauntless Dominant Reverse to dominate the meta, if you Ezel Scissors to slice things up, and Gansot Zenith to descend from the heavens, then you're probably gonna want those Triple R gotchas. But I mean, it's only really relevant if you want to roll on Catastrophic Outbreak, because the thing is, I know I opened more than 200 packs because I have both overdressed characters. So I rolled a lot on the overdressed gotcha, and that's a lot of gems. So I don't plan to whale out like that for Brilliant Strike. That's the reason why I've been farming up so much material for Minervas. But I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, if I had the money to get the Triple R gotcha, then I think it's probably a decent deal. But it really only depends if you're really wanting to build one or more of the decks that are coming out next month. You only have 100 packs. I think I have, I don't even know how many I have. Let's just go see in the shop. Oh, today's the Happy Monday gotcha. So if you have paid gems, you want to use them on this. I mean, this is a decent deal if you think about it. If you have paid gems. I don't have a whole lot of paid gems. Yeah, I only have like 550 paid gems. Those are accumulated from the VIP 14-day thing. That's how I accumulate gems. For those wondering how I get the paid gems, it's through the VIP system. Because it's the only thing that they sell in this game that gives you more, I guess, more than what you know, like the dollar amount, the amount of value you get from the VIP, as long as you do your dailies every day and log in once a day to collect the VIP thing, is pretty decent value. That's how I accumulate some paid gems here and there. So that's, but I'm not going to use them on this because I'm done rolling on Catastrophic Outbreak. But yeah, so I've got like 66, what is that, 60, what was it, 66 packs saved up, plus, you know, 30 more from the gems, plus 1 from the paid, that 50% off, so that's 31, so what is that, 97, so I have about 100 packs too. Yeah, no, I can't do what those guys do. I know what you're talking about. I've watched some Japanese streamers open packs on this game, and I've seen how much crafting material they have just because they have pulled like 8 or 10 different of the same triple R. You know, it's kind of crazy. They wail pretty hard. Not gonna lie, it is what it is. I have seen it, but yeah. So I have about 100 packs too. We're gonna get 10. You know, 15 more. We're gonna get 10. I'm gonna get 10 from hitting a million VP, so that's gonna put me at 100. You know, 110. Give us like plus or minus 3 or more from the dailies. So I'm gonna be around 105. Then, you know, when the new set drops, they give us 10 more. Actually, 15 more. So that puts me around like 120, somewhere between 120, 130. I'm expecting to open around 120 to 135, 140 maybe, depending on how generous or how much VP I can accumulate between now and then. But that's what I'm expecting to open for Brilliant Strike, and I may open more depending on how my luck ends up with you know, those Genesis pulls. I don't know if they're gonna do a raid up. But anyway, guys, this stream went on way longer than I originally expected. Almost 3-hour stream. Wow, I was only expecting this to be like a 90-minute stream. What do I do? That's an interesting. That's a question for another stream, unfortunately, because that's a question that I have gotten on stream a couple times before, and I have answered a few times, but it turns into like a really long-winded thing. But yeah, may do a different kind of stream. You know what? I'll probably answer that on stream when we do the Minerva deck build, and then I'll have the Minerva statue out because I don't really have it on display right now. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this stream. Those Neo Nectar, I encourage everybody who managed to complete Musketeers or the Maiden deck, but definitely Musketeers, go play it on ranked. Go troll all those Link Joker players with your Neo Nectars. It is so good. It's finally time for Neo Nectar to shine. It's one of those rare moments where a limited clan that rarely ever sees any play is actually relevant right now. So I encourage everybody to try it out and have a blast. And we will catch you guys next time with the pack openings for Set 15 Brilliant Strike. Thanks again for watching the stream. If you like this content, if you like Vanguard 0, and you want to see more content, feel free to subscribe to the channel so you know when I go live. It encourages me to put more content like this out there and do this more often. If I get more feedback on Vanguard 0, I'll probably stream more regularly. Because right now I do typically 2 to 3 streams per set release. So I'll usually cover the clan event. I'll usually do the set opening on the first day of every month. So you can expect a stream from me on the first day of every month. for pack openings, and then you can also expect to see a stream from me covering the limited clan event. So in this case, we did Neo Nectar, and then I would usually do a third stream later on in the month covering either the completed deck. So what I did today was basically showcase Musketeers in all its glory. But if you like this content, you want to see more of this, and keep this game's keep this game alive on YouTube, on the Vanguard community, feel free to check it out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again.